we're all here. We're all ready.
So, Mezzo, what are you playing? Just so I know.
Nope.
I am playing a
You
gold
won't. Nope.
dragon, fighter, thief, mage, rogue, ranger.
Okay.
It's not a gold dragon. We already discussed this. It's copper. All right, and we're sticking with it.
All right, fine. I guess I'll have to shoot lightning breath at everybody.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. This is the quickest. Fun fact: this is the quickest turnaround we've had in Fooki D&D sessions ever.
By far.
Weekly to once a quarter or something like that. So, okay. So just recapping of where we left off. Last session, you guys met up in secret beneath the bank of Isuji, and led by a one of the halfling males, whose name you've found out through indirectly. His name is Cage. And you guys were led into the basement where the two other halfling girls were just kind of it was kind of like their little clubhouse or hangout. Bastion strolled in, the dwarvish owner of the bank and banker here in Isuji, and he exclaimed that he had a kind of like a friendly relationship with these halflings where they would provide him with some, company and entertainment, as well as doing miscellaneous errands, and he would give them kind of like a place to stay / hang out. Another benefit that these halflings get from being close to Bastion is they get kind of to peruse and browse his collection of duplicated, and some would say counterfeit, art pieces, most of which can also be found in the town's archives. However, Bastion's secret that he keeps hidden away beneath the bank is that he has a rescued Kenku companion who spends most of its time in service to Bastion in exchange for saving its life as well as a place to stay, by recreating these manuscripts and pieces of artwork that Bastion goes out and collects, and he has, tends to do that in his free time / as a pastime. As you guys were kind of discussing, perhaps potentially taking on a contract with Bastion by retrieving another piece of art for him, just kind of like in his stead, playing fetch. You guys were ambushed and attacked by some devils which appeared in the basement, which seemed to, through the translator of your tiefling rogue friend Zero over here, that they are working for an entity known as the Agent, and that they were, in fact, kind of like surprised, but as well as kind of elated at the discovery of the Kenku companion, who has in fact survived, contrary to their previous beliefs. So, with that information, they tried to make it out of the basement and report back to their master. However, the party quickly dispatched of them, and as a result, Bastion had agreed to kind of speed up his end of the bargain in exchange for them going out and collecting this piece of artwork for the party. He would speak to the governors on their behalf due to your concern about the secrets of the locked room beneath the archives in the town. You guys made your way back to the inn, during which Bukash and Milton and Zero tried to prepare the spoils of war, were it to say, into a meal, and it came out okay. However, the bartender, very appalled at their attempt at marketing, quickly shut down their idea of imp flesh enterprise. So with that, you guys spent the night, finished a long rest, got acquainted with your new items, which you either were gifted or loaned for the time being, and you guys now awaken. It's about, a little bit after sunrise, about maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you guys have agreed to meet Bastion outside of the bank in order to collect direction, details, as well as a formal contract for your excursion. So, what would you guys like to do?
Anybody have anything to do before we go meet this guy? I do not.
I don't have anything. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so you guys get up, you guys go downstairs, have a nice breakfast to start your day, and you guys head out towards the bank. At this point, there are a couple people going in and out of the bank as hours have started. Day starts early in Asuji. And while there are people kind of going about, you see Bastion kind of stroll out just as you guys are walking up, and he goes, yes, my friends, thank you so much for coming to meet me. Please, just give me one moment while I get all the opening business in order, and then I will send you on your way. Please, just one moment. And he disappears back in, goes, yells at some tellers for a little bit, organizes people in lines, shakes a few hands. After about 3 minutes of this, he comes back out, holding a large pouch, as well as two rolled up pieces of parchment. He hands the pouch off to the stockiest of the bunch, and to Oberon, and as you take it, you kind of are shocked a little bit about the weight of this pouch. It's pretty bulky. And then he passes off both parchments to Shintani. And he says, here we have in a position the contract between your party and I, as well as a written statement of purchase and exchange for the vendor that I have agreed with. One more, and he reaches into his coat and pulls out once again another piece of parchment, which you now kind of see shows you as a map. And it's a map kind of like of the local areas, and he just kind of points you. It's a very crude map. I've not had time to create something more formal or high quality. But if you just follow the roads along this pass, it's about maybe 2 days travel, and you will find your way as the entrance to this vendor's marketplace. There you can, I'm sure you will find it. It's fairly straightforward once you get there. There are many assistants that are there to help you, and while you're there, perhaps if you find something that's good and you surprise me, maybe I reward you something else, or perhaps you can treat yourself. And he kind of taps the little bag he hands off to Oberon. I have left a little bit of a spending budget for you as well. Perhaps I would like you to enjoy your trip as well. If now there are more questions, I must return. The bank has to be, taken care of.
I look in the bag.
You open up the bag. It is filled to the brim with gold pieces. This thing is...
I'm rich. I run away from the party.
So...
We're rich now, guys.
Alright. So...
Money.
Okay. So... okay, very well. So, I'll see you perhaps in about a week. Alright, good day. And he moves on back into the into the bank and continues on with his work.
Okay.
Do I know how much gold? Can I count that real quick? Just so we have an accounting, or should I just put bag of gold?
just put sack of gold in your inventory for now.
Sounds good.
I will read these contracts.
Sure. So you open the first one up, and the first one is going to be the written contract between you and Bastion, and it just states, it's just like, I, Bastion, the banker and overseer of the Bank of Asuji, employ, party's name, the names of the party, to go on a request to retrieve a piece of artwork in their collection. I have included the payment of 2,000 gold pieces, as well as an additional 200 gold pieces for them to spend at their leisure, in parentheses, please return change. And then at the bottom, it's signed.
Okay, so there's no identification of what this artwork is. That's the part that confuses me.
So you open up your other parchment, and there you see, like he said, it is kind of like a written agreement, or like kind of like a receipt of some sort.
With the vendor, I guess. Okay.
Sure, and it says It reads, a total sum of 2,000 gold pieces in exchange for one bound collection of original art and transcriptions of the once Gaku goddess Suzuka during her third and final year of reign. Should the agreed material not be available, be damaged or incomplete, all payment is considered forfeit and is expected to be returned. All the above is sworn by I, Bastion of Asuji, under the witness of my goddess Miku and her sisters, and by you, the marketeer, under the witness of your holy deities. Signed, Bastion.
Yeah, but a signed Suzuku photo book that's about 2,000 gold. They're about right.
If you know your Discord history, man. All right. So with those pieces of information, you roll them up, satisfied with, how much gold you were loaned out, how much what kind of you're looking for, as well as the map and the direction that you're headed. Kind of stow those away in your bags, and you guys are heading out.
Well, I think maybe we should think about some sort of field rations.
Think about what?
Food.
I still have rations from my starting equipment left. At least
Same.
I never put them down, I guess, and I don't have like a bedroll or anything either. And comfort is king on the road, So
yeah, I guess we gotta.
I don't want to waste a lot of time with this.
So do you want to just you're aware that there's a general store, or if someone has like an extra bedroll,
yeah.
You guys want to.
Yep, if you want to hand wave it, that is fine with me.
You can sleep in my bedroll. I can sleep in the grass.
Well, I'm just gonna say if you don't have a bedroll, some might be a little.
All right. Well, we're gonna swing by the general store on the way out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna buy a bedroll.
All right. So you guys, you do that, and you go up again. The half orcish store owner again. As you walk in, he just kind of grunts out a welcome, and just pays you no mind. You kind of lure on. The bedrolls are easy enough to find. Give me 1 sec, as I think a bedroll is gonna be like a silver at most.
Yeah.
Let me get the official ruling of this because I have it somewhere. It's actually 1 gold piece. Look at that.
Oh damn, expensive.
All right.
It's got goose feathers in the pillow part, so yeah, it's one gold piece. I'll say there's like one that's like it's a used tattered one that he's selling for 5 silver.
Okay. One gold piece is fine.
1 gold piece. All right. So you hand it over. He gives it to you. It's like a nod and grunt of approval. Thanks to you for your patronage, and you head out. Okay. So now equipped with your comfortings for the night, you meet back with the parties. Any other last minute things you guys want to do before you hit the road? Nope. Okay. So with that,
I'm good.
You guys take one more look at the map, and you exit out towards the north gate of the city. As in doing so, you pass through the main square, and people are up and about. People are talking about the latest additions to the archives, as local town gossip. Some guys like talking about like politics, and you just kind of like roll your eyes at them, and then. As you're exiting out, you also overhear a couple of guys talking about this. It's like, now I would have to post this. Everyone knows posting lewd images is just not right. It's just why do we even have to say something like that? As you guys exit out. So you guys are walking along. Start walking along the path, and it's the path is like paved and developed. As you guys travel for about a couple hours, you can start to see the road become less and less kind of maintained. It becomes dirt. Still a very clear indication of where you're going, but you guys are now set off. And if I were to take my d20, so as you guys are traveling along, I want you guys all to make perception checks.
Rip.
Jeez. Come on.
I walked into a tree.
Yes! Yes!
Wow. 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Brilliant!
6 and 7. Yeah.
You guys...
So you guys all walking with like books in your hands, reading.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating my navel.
Yeah, each of you guys are just kind of like, you know, doing your own thing, you know. Doing your own thing. You guys notice it's birds are out. It's like towards the end of spring, start of summer, so it's nice foliage you got going there. You guys make it, you travel most of the day, stopping intermittently for quick rests, but soon, you know, no big incident happens. You guys hit your first resting point for the night. As sundown hits, at this point, you know, you guys probably figured, oh, we gotta make a fire, set up camp, so you kind of deviate a little bit off the road into it's not a heavily covered area or with like trees or anything, but you find a nice open space with some coverage and decide this is probably a good point for camp. So at this point, I want you guys to, you know, who's, you know, gathering wood, setting up watches, anything else you guys are doing before you guys decide, we're just gonna clock out.
I guess I have a +2 to survival, so I could do some hunting or something, try and get us.
Well, you guys do have
ration.
Yeah, so you guys have like dry rations, which would sustain you for the nights. But it's a matter of like, you know, setting up camp in terms of, you know, making a fire to make sure, and, you know, setting up watch so you guys aren't, you know, ambushed. If you guys want to go hunting, that's cool too. You know, it'll give you a little bit more comfort for the night at the very least. No?
I do 10.
Yeah, you want to hunt?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have 10 rations.
All right, so seems like you guys have plenty of rations if you guys don't want to waste time hunting for the night. What do you guys want to do?
I eat my enemies. No need to hunt.
You pull out a peek of the leftover, what's now kind of turned into like some sort of like a not quite jerky because it hasn't been properly dehydrated, but it's like a room temperature, room temperature piece of imp meat that you kind of nibble and gnaw on. Yeah, it's really rubbery. It's chewy. Could use a bit more seasoning. All right, so it seems like you guys are pretty satisfied with just not hunting. You just, you know, quick jaunt. It's not too much. Dry rations seem to sustain you. Is anyone gonna build a fire or?
Sure, I'll build a fire.
All right, roll me a survival check. All right, 14. Hey, that's good. Yeah, you go out. There's a couple of already kind of like dry, like rotting trees, like they're dead, not really growing. So you pull out your axe and just kind of give it a few chops, cut it up, and you come back with enough kindling and logwood, and you kind of set it up. Fire starts going, and you guys kind of huddle around as the temperature starts to dip just a little bit in the night, but the comfort of the fire keeps you pretty warm. At this point, you know, you guys figured, there's not really, or from what I can figure, you guys are just like, all right, you know, we'll just start setting up watches and take turns throughout the night. I want you guys, so we'll have 2 people on watch, and we'll have two watches. So I want who's the first 2 people on watch?
I'd rather be
I'll take
first.
Okay, so Shintani and Oberon, you guys set up. At this point, yeah, you guys all have your bedrolls laid out. The other 3 kind of snuggle up and start getting some shut-eye. The 2 of you guys, I want you to roll perception checks. Shintani, you roll with disadvantage because it's nighttime and you're a human.
Oh, well, I can cast a light spell on my quarterstaff.
All right, you do that.
Wow. So I guess all I can do is light fires.
Oh, nice.
Zero, you're not on watch. You don't have to roll.
God.
So,
Yeah, we noticed nothing.
yeah, you guys.
I'm still
Even with
contemplating
your
my
light
navel.
spell, even with your light spell, you kind of look around. You know, even listening around, it seems very quiet. You hear the chirping of insects and things going around. The wind's kind of blowing bushes, but you're like, it's just the wind. It's probably gonna be nothing. Yeah, as it's going on, nothing really happens. So the first watch passes without incident. Who are the next two people on watch?
Me.
Me.
Just two. I just need two. I don't need all of you, unless all three of you want to. But
Me?
No, let's put Sherry because his modifier is bigger.
All right, I'll take it.
okay, so Shaddy, Milton and Bukash, you guys are up on your second watch. So roll perception checks for me. Okay. Jeez, you guys are rolling terribly.
You all guys are blind.
So, Milton, you're like, yeah, I'll take watch, and you kind of like prop yourself up against a tree, and you're like, you know, I got this, but then you're just kind of like slowly dozing off because you just got up like 10 minutes ago to take watch, and you know, you try to stay awake, but you know, it's not really working out for you. Bukash, on the other hand, you guys, you're a little bit more attentive, but you're kind of like a little distracted by the fact that Milton every once in a while goes, and then repeats every 10-15 minutes or so. But yeah, nothing really happens during your watch. So night passes peacefully. As the sun comes up, you guys all get together, wake up, you know, feeling pretty good still, and you kind of continue on the next leg of your journey after, you know, taking only photos and leaving only footprints. So you guys head off down, find your way back to the dirt road, and keep making your way on.
And as we start today, I'm going to remember to cast Mage Armor upon myself.
All right, the last 8 hours, so cast it on yourself. Okay, I want you guys, everyone again, roll perception checks, and please, for the love of God, roll better.
There's always DM Fia.
A little better. Can I take
Wait a
Daddy
minute.
roll?
That's not right.
0 successes. That is true, though.
What did I do?
You
Oh
put
my
equal
god, I
stunning.
can't roll anything but a 4.
Jeez. All right.
Why?
As you
Roll so
guys are walking along, and kind of same thing. You guys are just kind of like, yeah, 2-day journey. This is kind of annoying. But Milton, you see off to the side of the road, not too far. Everyone else is just kind of like looking at their feet, more or less, you know, just focusing on the road. But you see kind of like off to the side of the distance, kind of like a swaying hanging from one of the trees.
A swing?
It's like, yeah, it's you see through the foliage, you see kind of like, you know, like a rope holding something up and it's just kind of swaying off. You can't really see too much from it, but it does catch your sight.
So I stopped the guys and pointed out.
All right, you guys look it out and you kind of see it off in the distance, and everyone else more or less sees the same thing, and you see kind of like derail just a bit off from the side. You kind of peek down and you can see it is in fact a body hanging from a rope. It's a male in his mid-20s, and
Piñata.
the rope tied securely, the rope tied securely around his neck, and there's a sign hanging around hanging around his neck that says, it's in a script that you get. What language do you guys speak? Sorry, I can bring this up as well.
I speak Common and Dwarven.
Common and Dwarven.
I speak Common and Dragon.
Dragon.
It's supposed
wait.
to be Dwarven, not Deafin. Thanks, autocorrect.
All right.
I speak Infernal and Abyssal.
Abyssal. You said Abyssal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you look at this and the sign hanging around this, and written in the abyssal script, it says, "Piracy is forbidden." And so,
Oh. I'll tell the party.
so you tell everybody. So
Yeah.
the sign reads, "Piracy is forbidden," and it seems that this guy was hung for his crimes or hanged for his crimes.
I scoff.
He chuckles. All right. So, you guys kind of like look over this poor sod. Upon closer inspection, it seems that the body's been hanging there for at least a couple of days. The flesh starting to kind of loosen up a little bit.
I bet it smells good.
Oh yeah, it smells great. That was sarcasm. Doesn't smell too good.
Let's move away from it so we don't have to smell it anymore.
I think he's dead.
Yeah.
I use lay your hands to heal him.
Does he have his clothes? Does he have his clothes on him?
Yeah, he's fully clothed. He's still got kind of like he looks like a normal like a commoner sort of thing. He's like, you know, very common clothes, sash around his waist.
I
Anything
said
of note in his
I loot
pockets?
the body.
Wait, sorry. Who is speaking? Besides Bukash, I know Buka's speaking, but
Yeah.
I was speaking.
yeah. So Milton, what'd you say?
I searched for something.
Anything?
Milton, what did you say?
So anything of note, maybe important in his pockets? I'll check.
Sorry. All right, roll investigation, both of you. Just you two. Huh. All right, and Milton.
There we go. Somebody in this group can roll
Hey.
occasionally.
So, Bukash, you just kind of like look over his body and you don't really see anything interesting. You're like, whatever. However, Shaddy, you kind of like sneak around a little bit, and you being a halfling, yeah, it takes a little bit, but you can just manage to kind of reach your hands into his pocket, into his left pocket, and you kind of turn it inside out, and out falls onto the side of the road. Like a couple of silver, like 2 silver pieces and a copper, as well as a singular lockpick.
I hand the lockpick over to Zero.
Okay, so you pick it up, hand it over to Zero.
Thank God.
And I guess I just give the money to our treasurer, Shintani.
All right, how much money was it?
2 silver, one copper.
Okay, and do we ever get a full accounting? Because if I'm the treasurer, I want a full accounting, and I don't have it right now. That's for sure.
Well, I have a sack with 2,200 gold pieces.
Well,
So we
I got you. What we're saying our gold, not somebody else's gold, and that is not our gold.
Well, 200 is ours.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to provide the change, but yeah, I got you. Okay, so how much was it again?
2 silver and 1 copper from looting that one body.
2 and 1. When does this update? Do I move off it and then back on?
We're talking about the D&D tool, D&D Beyond.
Yeah. Oh, I see. It just doesn't even mark down the GP in the top thing. Okay.
Okay. So, and then there's really nothing else. There's lint in the other pocket. So, somewhat satisfied with your discovery, you kind of respectfully back away off from the body, despite having looting it, and make your way back off to the road. You guys are approaching nighttime once again. Nothing else seems to happen during the day. In a similar fashion, you guys set up camp in a very similar environment you were the previous night.
How many hours did we travel, approximately?
Approximately, throughout both days, you guys probably spent, 15 to 20 hours of travel. It's 2 days on foot traveling, so you guys are approaching the end. On the map, it's written, it says 2 days journey, You know, like, so 2 full days. So you're assuming you will arrive soon, the following morning. Unless you guys want to push on through.
Nah, we'll rest.
Okay. See you guys.
Well, I say we rest.
I'm assuming the party agrees because.
Yeah, I'm down to rest.
All right. So you guys all.
Same
rest
watch
Mhm.
thing is fine with me.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
Here's my first night, if you want it.
yeah. Okay. So same watches. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are
Finally
all
rolled
together.
above a 4.
Guys are all together. You guys a little bit more, you know, after a day on the road, you guys are a little bit used to kind of now being aware of what's going on. And so you guys keep an eye out. You guys hear in the distance like a and you kind of look up to the sky, but a few more trees in this area, but it's a little dark. You see a couple like birds fly out of some trees and things like that away from you guys, so you don't really pay too much attention. Okay. Your watch goes by unnoticed. Are you guys switching over watches now?
What?
Yep. We'll let the next watch come in.
Okay. So next watch.
Oh, let me
Shall we-
roast. Okay.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be yeah. Shaddy and Zero. Okay. So you guys are staying awake, and you guys as you're kind of staying away, you hear kind of like a rustling from the bushes, just like kind of northward of your camp position. And you guys, as you get a little closer, you slowly kind of make your way forward, and you hear and out from the bushes steps a large pack of wolf-like creatures as they kind of creep out of the bushes and kind of eye you, their eyes yellow and their teeth bared, and there's a little bit of drool dripping from their faces.
Okay, so I'm gonna scream.
So, like a girl or a man?
What's the most masculine scream you can make?
I'm not the one screaming, you're screaming.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go for super loud. Like, I don't really care what it sounds like at this point.
So you scream and you go like, ah! And then with that, the rest of the party, you guys wake up and you kind of are jostled a little awake, and you guys see in front of you guys, across from the fire, about maybe 25, 30 feet, is this pack of, it's six giant wolves are there in front of you. You guys kind of spring to your feet. I want you all to roll initiative.
Yay. Initiative.
Alright.
Milton's rolling good today.
Need all
Keep
my
it up.
dice here. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Okay.
I'm jealous you get real dice. They sound serious, too.
I have so many dice next to me. Give me 1 sec. Let me write down everything.
I bought a literal pound of polyhedral dice off
Jeez.
Amazon a while ago.
I have my friend gifted me a set of metal kanji dice. And I only roll it at my friend's game because he has a dice tray, and I do not want to cut up my table.
Yeah.
Alright, let's roll it back up to the chat. Can you guys give me... Oh, it's in here. Holy crap, Milton. Alright, also,
Yeah,
let me
going first.
let me bring you guys to the map. So this is where you guys are. Keep in mind, it is the middle of the night. And so with the fire, you have just about dim light range towards the edge from the fire, about 30 feet out, if you want to keep track of that. All right, and emerging from these, you see these just a bunch of these things. It's a rabid wild pack of wargs, and there's 6 of them. Okay. No, I don't need to ask you again. Why do I? It's just habit to ask for initiative, but Milton, 24. Bukash, 18. And then we have 0, 15. Oberon, 11. And then Shintani with a 10. Bringing up the rear like all good wizards. Okay. First one up is Milton, you're first. And once again, you guys have control of your characters, so.
Alright, so I'm gonna be casting Sleep right about here.
Alright, Sleep, I believe, is a 20-foot radius.
Yep.
Okay. 20-foot radius, so yeah, that should... Yep, that will get all of them, so... Also, let me very quickly as well...
So we just ran away.
Where are you gonna run to?
Also,
Alright.
we have a camp set up, so we don't want to leave our stuff.
Yeah, so like all your... You guys have drawn your weapons, but all your bags, the gold pouch that for that Bastion gave you is all in there and stuff like that. They're just kind of scattered around still. All right, can you roll me your sleep spell? That's 5d8. Where am I? Here it is. Okay, so 28 HP. With that, you kind of like focus out and you give your fingers a little jazz hands and you bring them together with a smack and kind of like a appears across the entire, surrounding the wargs. As they all kind of blink and shake their heads, you see the warg on the far right kind of collapse to its side and starts snoring very loudly. The rest of the one shake their heads and just kind of look at you once again and kind of bare their fangs and growl at you again.
Okay, and I'll use my bonus action to inspire Shintani.
Okay. So Shintani, take your mark. Remember, you have an inspiration dice.
Right. And I can use that at my leisure, basically, right?
Within the next 10 minutes, so pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, Bukash, you are up.
As a bonus action, I use Seal of Faith on me.
All right, Shield of Face. You clutch your holy symbol, and you pray to your goddess, and you feel her protection wave down at you. And in your mind, you can see her kind of waving with both of her hands at you, as you feel much more protection.
Thanks, Oga.
You feel Oga Wave 4 waft through you and envelop you. All right. Okay, that was your bonus action.
Yeah, and can I move and attack?
So, oops, forget. I think it's you are. Yeah, so 30 feet can get you up to almost all the wargs except for the one that's sleeping.
I move to the here.
Sure.
And I attack this wolf.
Okay. So you go up, and you raising your shield and your longsword, you take a swing at the warg. Roll damage. Roll your attack.
No.
Natural 1. You move up, and as you kind of like you step up and you kind of like roar. You roar using your dragon language. You just kind of like try to intimidate the warg, and as you raise your sword to bring down, the warg instinctively roars back and catches you, kind of startles you a little bit. You don't even finish your attack. You just kind of flinch back, but you quickly regain your posture and kind of ready yourself once again.
Wait, what you say last?
You just kind of ready yourself. Your attack failed, is basically what happened. Shad, if you can't hear the music, try refreshing. It's playing on my end, but
It just says something about like this version of Chrome requires the experimental version of the music to be enabled by the DM.
Oh, what? Okay, let me do that for audio.
Chrome version 63 Plus is only compatible with Roll20's beta integrated video and voice. The GM can switch to the beta chat option from the settings tab.
Huh. Ah, I see that. I am reconnecting. Alright, well, I'm just gonna keep going. Guys here now? It's still playing for me.
It's fine. Let's not worry about it. Move on.
Alright, back to morning. Back to normal. Okay, next up, it is the warg's turn. So, so the first two wargs are going to run up here to our dwarven friend Oberon, and go 2 attacks on you. So 1 bite each from them. That's a 15 and a 7.
The first hits, the second misses.
Okay, so the first one hits. You take... Whew, that is 12 points of piercing damage. On you. Alright, and then this warg is gonna run up to 0 and try to bite him. Rolls a 24, which hits, I'm going to say. And 0, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
Yeah. And these two are gonna focus on Bukash, so they'll also take 2 bites at him. So that is a 24 and a 8. So you take 14 points of piercing damage.
14 points. Wow.
Yep. Okay. And the last one is asleep. With that, 0, it's your turn.
I'll move there and I'll evoke a thunder sound around here.
Okay, by moving away, you will evoke attack of opportunity. Just letting you know that.
Oh yeah.
So do you still do that, or no?
I can maybe.
Don't you like not evoke? Invoke an attack of opportunity because you're a
Yeah.
swashbuckler.
He has
I
to
can
have a,
engage.
he has to melee attack it first, and then he can dance away from it.
I
Oh,
can
I see.
I can engage as a rogue.
All right, so you bonus action disengage. You hop away before the warg can kind of take a reaction against you after its first bite. You back off, and what do you do after that?
I'll evoke a sound of thunder around here.
Okay, so is that thunder wave?
No, just thunder sound.
Oh,
As
thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just kind of like really loud around that. You see all the wargs. Just... Okay. You evoke a sound of thunder, and all of the wargs kind of startle a little bit and kind of jump, but they kind of quickly rear back onto the original targets. And thankfully, with the natural 2, that far wolf that's asleep jostles in its sleep a little bit, but then remains still and breathing slightly. So, okay.
The proverbial let sleeping dogs lie.
All right. With that, with all chaos and commotion, you all of a sudden kind of hear, kind of like, sounds of footfall behind you as from behind most of your camp emerges a humanoid figure that, as you guys turn around, you see a male figure kind of appear from behind. And Mezzo, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Okay, a middle-aged elf, a little bit on the younger side, with light brown hair, fair skin, and orange eyes. He wears tattered green leather armor, and he's running with a bow in his hand, and he's pulling out an arrow.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, what do you do on your turn?
All right, first I'm going to do some movement here. 1 second.
Which one are you attacking? I can't hear your mic. If you
On the
are
blue dot
speaking.
one, the one that's gnawing on the dwarf.
Okay, so you do that 15, that'll hit, so roll your damage.
Oops, forgot to add the modifier.
Okay, what's your modifier? Keep the roll.
+4.
+4. Okay, so 6 points of piercing damage. Okay, you knock your arrow, you focus for a split second before letting it go, and it strikes it in its kind of like back left haunch as it kind of yelps a little bit and just kind of looks at you back in between you and Oberon, the angry dwarf, and this newcomer who has now joined the fray. Okay, anything else?
Yes, I shall look at the three around me and ask them, have they made the matron of the hunt angry or something?
All right.
I reply, no idea.
Okay. With that, Oberon, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at the one that got shot with the arrow, the blue.
Mhm.
Using my warhammer. Actually, first I'm gonna go into a rage.
You go into a rage, feeling really upset that this warg is trying to turn into a chew toy. You kind of hunker down, and your vision tunnels in as this white rage, this white noise just kind of goes through your head as you focus in all your anger. Okay, roll me an attack.
I'm going to actually go into a frenzied rage.
Okay.
So I can make an additional melee attack as a bonus action.
All right. So
Sorry.
that's on your following turn. So because you use your bonus action to go into that frenzied rage.
Oh, wait. Yes. Okay.
So your following turn, you can invoke that, so you can still only get one attack this time. But a 24 does hit, so please roll your damage.
Oh, that's actually +7. Because I'm raging, I get 2 extra damage.
Okay. What are you attacking with?
My banhammer.
All right. So you brandish your newly acquired weapon from Bastion, and you kind of bring it over your head, bring it over your head, and very cleanly down, just kind of swing it on top of the skull of the warg, and it gives a nice satisfactory crack as you can hear bones crunching on the top of the skull. But this creature is a very hardy creature, so it nearly hits his face into the ground as it almost rebounds up and very wildly shakes, bumps into the warg next to it, and very dizzily kind of rears back. You can see the blood dripping down into its fur, getting to its eyes. Its eyes and its face and expression now kind of mimicking the same rage you are in as you kind of square down and you growl back at it. But you've dealt a considerable blow to this creature with that strike, and you are feeling pretty good about this new weapon.
Yeah, and so that sums up my turn.
Yep. So, Shintani, it's your turn.
Okay, well, just in case, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to cast Mage Armor upon myself.
Okay.
Thrilling turn, I know.
Yeah. Wait,
Typical
hold on.
mage turn.
Did you say you cast Mage Armor this morning, right? Oh wait, no, yeah. It's gone. It only lasts 8 hours. I was about to say, but this is the second watch, so it's gone. Okay, so you cast Mage Armor on yourself. All right.
Correct.
Cool. Top of the round, Milton. It's your turn again.
All right. So before I do anything, Zero, how hurt are you again? 14, 19. Okay, that's not bad.
I can
So-
use my dagger.
Okay, great. So I'm going to move for a sec. Over there.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to cast... wait, give me a second. I'm gonna be casting Sleep from...
From where? From that location.
from here at 2nd level.
Okay, so second level. Well, it is a second level spell, isn't it?
It's a 1st level spell.
Oh, okay. So you're adding 1 more d8 or 2 more d8 or something like that?
2d8.
Okay, so now you're rolling 7d8 for sleep. Okay, 29 hit points. All right. So with that, you notice trying to hit these cast a sleep spell once again. You clap your hands together and the poof appears once again. This time, only those two orcs kind of shake their head and go a little dizzy. The one that got struck by Oberon and the new stranger, almost instantly just kind of passes out, but its body's still kind of up and down. It's still alive, still breathing, just asleep now. And the other one shakes off the effects.
I guess that's it for my turn.
Okay, that's it for Milton. Bukash, your turn.
I move here.
Okay, if you move, you're gonna advance two attacks of opportunity if you move.
Oh, then I don't
You are
move.
you are surrounded by 3 wargs.
Isn't one asleep?
Top right one is asleep.
Okay. I see
The
it.
one with the symbol on it, but so he would be moving out of the sphere of influence of the other 2. All right. So what do you want to do?
One moment, please.
Okay.
As a bonus action, I use Hunter Mark.
All right. On which one?
How I make it the circle?
Sorry.
You
which one?
long click, or you click and hold.
Yeah. Click and hold if you want to ping like that. To that one. Okay.
This one,
So cast
the
your
Hunter
Hunter's
Mark.
Okay, so I will. What's a good Hunter's Mark symbol? There we go. Hunter's Mark. Okay.
And I attack him.
Okay. Roll your damage.
Damage or attack?
Attack. Sorry. Yeah. Roll your attack.
Good damage.
11. So yeah, unfortunately, you swing down again, but the wolf kind of like, as it comes up, it reaches up with its paws and kind of bats away the sword just in time as it kind of chunks and just kind of sinks down into the grass a little bit, and you reclaim your weapon once again and stand square, frustrated that now at this point you've not been very as effective as you'd hoped. But that's your turn, and it's back up to the wargs again. So once again, Oberon, the warg on your side, is going to try to bite you. That is a 16.
That hits.
Okay. And you take 11 damage, halved to 5 because you are raging. So 5 points of piercing damage. This warg here, seeing the new stranger, kind of pounces up next to him and is going to attempt to take a bite out of him. Rolls a 7.
No.
Nope. So you, very familiar with the creatures of this woods, having spent a lot of time in nature and in this environment, you deftly kind of step out of the way as the warg's jaws chomp down in the air next to you. You seem relatively unfazed and very calm amongst the creatures of the forest. Okay, and the other two wargs are going to take attacks at Bukash. So that is a 12 and a 11. So both of those will miss as they come up. You bring your shield up to the one in front of you and just kind of push it off you as the other one comes at you, and you kind of parry it and smack it with the flat of your bay, and it kind of very yelps a little bit before kind of swinging back around. That's their turn. Zero, your turn.
Move there and attack this wolf.
Okay, so you drawing your dagger or short sword? What are you attacking with?
With the short sword.
With the short sword. You draw your short sword and you come up and you... That is a 23. That hits. Roll your damage, please. Nice. You deal... Sorry, why are you rolling a 2d6? Oh, sneak attack. Sneak attack, good. So that is a total of 17 damage on that one. Okay. So coming back around, you peek out between after it kind of misses the stranger. You kind of jump off to his side as you kind of stab your sword directly kind of where it is, and you don't get a direct hit on the face, but you do manage to kind of skim the cheek as well as plunge it deep into its front shoulder and you draw it out. The blood kind of splurts out a little bit as it yelps back in pain. All right.
I just moved there.
And then you dance back and you do like a back handspring, go, and you kind of acrobat away, and you ready your weapons. Mezzo, your turn.
Alrighty. Between the dwarf and the dragonborn, who looks more injured?
I would believe the dwarf has taken 2 hits so far, and is kind of dripping blood out of kind of his left arm, and it's kind of coating onto the handle of his hammer. The dragonborn up front of you seems to be a little bit more sturdy, having only taken 1 hit, but is kind of fighting off more enemies.
Okay, I shall call upon the pool of light granted to me by my matron, and use 2 slots to heal the dwarf.
Okay. So roll 2d6 for healing. All right, so that is a total of 7 points of healing, Oberon. As you feel the stranger puts out his hand, and from it two orbs of light materialize and then burst forth as they kind of hit you in the back, and it's this warmth kind of envelops you and a little bit kind of seeps into your shoulder. You can feel the wounds go numb and the blood start to dry and clean up a little bit as you feel a little bit more revitalized.
I'll turn and yell my thanks.
And now for my bonus action, I shall Misty Step.
Okay. From that perspective, these blotches are trees. I'm just giving you that perspective. Were you to say climb a tree or misty step into a tree, that is a possibility.
I shall misty step into a tree.
Boom. There you go. In a puff of kind of like a lightish red, pinkish sort of dust, he disappears, and then another point just onto the branches, kind of typical hunter mode. His bow in one hand, crouching from a branch. You're now about 15 feet up in the air. So I'm gonna give you a little symbol for that. I thought there was like a wing symbol. Yeah, you're about 15 feet up in the air.
And that shall end my turn.
All right, Oberon.
Okay, so I'm going to make a reckless attack against the red wolf, since
Alright.
the blue wolf is sleeping right now.
It is
yeah?
sleeping. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, roll with
So I'll-
advantage. All right, 19. That'll hit.
Oh shit! Again, it's +7, so
Plus
it's 11
7.
damage.
11 points of damage against that one. Okay, so you bring the hammer around, this time from the side. Whack! You smack it across the face, and it rears its head back on you. What do you do?
And so now I make my bonus action attack against it as well, which
That you
also
do.
gets advantage.
After you whack it around, you reposition your footing, and you kind of now bringing it from underneath with the chin. 23 hits, deal your damage as you crack, hit it upside the jaw. It goes off its two front paws for a little bit and slams back down, shaking its head more. Though I will revise that, as you crack, it doesn't actually come quite back down. It actually just kind of flips back off onto its back and kind of like convulses a little bit before lying still.
Correct.
So, all right, good one, Shintani. You find yourself facing a warg with nothing in between you.
All right, it doesn't have any.
You are
it's only-
outside. Yeah, you're.
Gotcha.
You got a block of.
Well,
it's 5
I'm gonna
feet away
get
from-
behind Zero again. We're just gonna play hopscotch Zero if you keep moving out of the way. And I'm going to. The green one is uninjured at this point, or got hit by.
The green one, Zero, took a hefty chunk out of it with his sword.
Hefty chunk. All right, I'm going to cast a magic missile, all 3 of them at it.
Okay.
I'll lie in the floor so don't get hit.
Okay.
Don't worry, this spell never misses.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a guaranteed hit.
3d4 plus 3 should be your roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm getting it ready.
I have a question from one spell.
Sure. What's your question? If you have a question about mechanics to a spell, yeah. So,
Yeah, it means I can wait to see if I hit a creature and then say
yeah. So you, yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna
yes.
do that.
So you don't have to waste it. You can wait to see when you hit before you invoke it. Shintani, you aim your wand, and once again, very familiar 3 spears of energy all appear out kind of like a claw and all wrap it around, all piercing itself kind of into a triangle around the neck, and it just kind of the energy just kind of eviscerates it, and just kind of like blood splatters everywhere as the wolf just where it's standing collapses lifeless.
Sweet.
Okay. Back to the top of initiative. Milton. Backed up against a tree, you kind of see just now Oberon demolishing one warg as Shintani took care of another one. The rest of them, kind of, the only ones awake are currently engaged with Bukesh. What do you do?
All right, so excuse me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to call out to Buka, and I'm gonna be all like, Buka-chan, remember the imp that we cooked together? We gotta survive this. And then I inspire him. That's my bonus action.
All right. Cool. So, Bukesh, you have a inspiration die which you can add to any roll.
Okay, so who's hurt?
I still have some injuries. It's not serious.
Okay, 0 14. I guess I'm just gonna like got one hit. Okay, well, I'm gonna move over closer to where 0 is. Wait, I started here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make it all the way next to him with your movement.
And then I'm gonna just for good measure, I'm just gonna like cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, so roll your healing for that. Okay, you heal for 11 points. 0. Okay. As he goes up to you and gives you a hearty back slap, and you feel revitalizing energy enter you in from the point where he gave you a nice thump. Okay, Bukash, your turn.
I attack the marker wolf.
Okay. You raise your sword once again, this time determined to do something. 18, it hits. Alright, roll your damage plus a
Then
d6.
I use divine smite.
Divine Smite. Okay, so roll all those dice at once for me. So it's good weapon damage, Divine Smite, as well as Hunter's Mark. Are you using, you only have first level spell slots at this level, right? So just 2d8?
I have 6 spell slot.
But first level, right? You're using a first level spell slot.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so weapon damage, that damage, and a d6. So it should be 3d8 plus a d6 plus your modifier. Okay, 24 points of damage. Okay. Your energy, this is question radiant damage, right? Radiant damage,
Yes.
yeah. You hold your you hold your weapon up to the sky as you invoke your goddess's blessing, as the light seems to shine with the sword for a brief moment before you bring it down, and the energy kind of darkens a little bit as you cut clean down the center of its face into its snout, and so you essentially split its lip and take out a little bit of its jaw as the weapon just cleaves through the front of its face and blood starts kind of dripping out and messing with it. It's shaking, it's growling, still standing, but is heavily wounded.
Still standing?
Still standing. Okay. With that, it is the warg's turn. Warg's turns.
I
Oh,
didn't
it's not?
finish.
You didn't finish? Alright, what's your...
No, I heal myself.
Lay on hands? Lay on hands is an action, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, saying I don't.
Okay. Okay, so, with that, it's the warg's turn. Blue warg, dead asleep. This injured warg that you just completely just kind of messed up its day and its face, desperately lashes out with you to try and clamp down on your arm. That is a 22 to hit. I'm assuming that hits.
Yes.
Alright, and you take 12 points of piercing damage as this bloody, kind of missing teeth at this point, which somehow makes it worse in some ways, clamps down on a weak point in your armor just around the elbows and just clamps down as hard as it can in desperation out of fit of survival, and you can feel the teeth sink past the weak points as it clamps down. You feel the pain, the warmth from the blood filling up your gauntlet as you break away really quickly, but draw your own blood kind of filling up your armor from that. Okay, and then the second warg next to you, seeing the opportunity, tries to take a bite out of you once as well, rolls a 23, and you take... dice, come on. And you take 6 points of piercing damage from that. This time, it tries to go for your thigh, and you barely manage to wait, but it scrapes you and leaves a nice trail of teeth marks down your side. A little bit of blood kind of comes out of there, but a lot less severe than the one that you just took before. All right. With that, you're dead. Are you at 0?
No, I had two.
Okay, so you're still standing, but you the blood loss is starting to get. You're starting to feel lightheaded. Your breaths are getting heavy, and your armor and your shields are starting to feel really heavy at this point. Okay, 0, it's your turn.
Okay. I'll move there. And
Okay.
can I heal Buka with my dagger?
You cannot heal Buko. You can only heal yourself with your dagger.
Okay. So I'll just attack this wolf.
Okay. The purple one. Go ahead.
So
12. You try to swing at it, but this ward kind of quickly turns towards you and snaps at your weapon as it manages to kind of catch it very briefly, but you very deftly wiggle it out, but unfortunately unable to make a strike against it.
how to engage?
So you disengage and
No, don't disengage.
and take a little bit of cover behind the heavily injured Dragonborn paladin.
Let me see. I don't have much movement, so
You only have you only have like 5 feet of movement left from where you were, so if any, really.
I'll just stay here.
Is there a 5-foot step in 5th edition? I don't.
There is not, no.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
no G-force if I move.
Yeah. So. Okay. Mezzo, your turn.
All right, seeing the Dragonborn collapse and look pretty bad off, I shall whisper a prayer to my matron for her guidance as I power a Radiant Blast, Radiant Bolt, and strike
Okay.
down the one that is basically on top of him, trying to eat off his face.
So the red one or the blue one, or the purple one rather.
Well, they're both eating his face?
They're both attacking him, yeah. The one that is directly in front of him, the red one, is very, very bloody, very, very kind of more feral looking because it's like on very, very close to death's door. And the purple one seems to have not taken any damage.
What's
Then
the
it shall be the purple one.
status symbol on the red one? Out of curiosity.
Hunter's mark.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Then it shall be the purple one.
Okay, so guiding bolt.
Yeah.
So you kind of you whisper your prayer, and as you focus in, as the energy kind of emanates from your body as it flashes forward. This is all going on while Zero's kind of doing a little dance, and in the midst of it, kind of out of sheer bad luck, the bolt just barely scrapes underneath its stomach and kind of explodes in the dirt around it, shattering up a shower of debris into the bushes behind it. But you just missed it.
Yeah, a whole 5d6 worth of showering debris.
Okay. Anything else with your turn?
Oh man.
Yeah, I shall get down out of the tree
Okay. So you leap down
and move up. Move up to there.
Okay.
That'll be
you
it.
kind of. All right. Oberon, your turn.
Well, I guess I can't move to engage the purple one, so I'll engage the one that's almost dead, the orange.
Okay. All right. So you move to it. So.
Yeah, and then I'll do the full reckless attack.
All right. Yep. Okay. It has 2 HP points. Don't roll damage. So. Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of bring up your hammer and you kind of take a nice sprint at it, and in the last 5 feet you kind of jump up, and with the hammer behind you, you let out a battle cry as you bring it full force down on the back of this injured warg, and you can hear a very satisfying crunch as the back snaps pretty much into this warg nearly bending in half its body, it kind of like now at like a 50-degree angle from the force of your blow as it just you pound it into the ground and it does not move anymore.
We lost Sadie.
Oh, did he Ooh. Oh snap. Okay. But Shintani, it's your turn. So once we will address when the ceremony gets there.
Welcome back.
What's up with the blue guy? Blue guy is okay?
He's asleep.
Asleep.
He is very bloody but asleep.
All right, I'll move up to there, and I will cast Chromatic Orb on the purple dude in the cold mode. Why not?
Sure.
And I will roll to hit. Do I have to declare I'm using my inspiration before I roll?
You can see your roll first and then add your inspiration.
Okay, thank you. But you don't tell me what happened.
No, I'm not going to tell you if it hits until... Do you want to roll your inspiration?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Just in case.
So it's
I should have been paying it. Oh, is it D6 that adds to it? Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, inspiration, just add a D6.
I thought it was like advantage.
All right, yeah. 17. Okay, so yeah, you lift up this diamond in your hand as it kind of lifts up out of your hand, and this nice icy chill color comes from it. This nice icy blue comes from it as the kind of like a ray of frost emanates from it as it shoots off towards the warg. Roll your damage. 7 points of damage. Okay. It hits it, and it hits it in its right haunch as you can see the ice start to form on it, and the spikes kind of seem to grow inwards as it kind of like rears back a little bit, very discomforted by this kind of the impaling that it's experiencing from this ice. You see the blood crimson now start to color the icy blue shard that now sits in its back haunch. Okay. Milton, your turn.
Alright, so I'll use my movement to move up to Bukash.
Alright.
And I guess I'll just, cast Cure Wounds.
Alright.
Good plan.
Do what?
Cure Wounds, so he's rolling healing for you. Heal for 4. You heal 4 points of damage, Bukash. Alright. This time you go up to him and he's a little taller than you expect, so you try to give a nice back slap, but with the jumping on it's a little awkward as you give him your best effort. You do your best. You smile your best. Heals
Well,
for 4.
that's all I can do.
You kind of smile nervously as this giant warg looks at you and seems to grin. Alright. Bukash, your turn.
First of all, I move the hunter mark to the purple one.
Alright, so that's your bonus action. You move your hunter's mark over here.
It's a bonus action.
Yep. Moves off of that.
And should I attack or heal?
Alright, attack it. Boom, 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 boom.
I use the Gambare.
He uses your inspiration dice. Go for it. The Gambare dice. Roll a d6. Ooh, oh, you don't roll. You roll just a d6, not one d20 plus 6. So
Isn't my attack?
for your attack, but if you're using the inspiration die, you add the result of a d6 roll to your attack roll.
It's a 15 then?
No, you rolled a d20. That's a d20. So
Roll your attack and then add a d6 to it.
So you rolled a 9 for your attack. Now roll a d6 and add that to your result. So 9 plus a d6 roll. 11. So unfortunately that doesn't hit. As you bring your sword around once again, the warg, it scrapes across the pelt of the warg, but with your exhaustion from being just kind of really manhandled by these creatures, it doesn't come down with the strength, and it doesn't even seem to really have an effect on the warg. Anything for your bonus action?
Is the hunter mark.
That was on his mark. That's right. Okay, so that's your turn. It's the warg's turn. Ooh.
Attack zero.
The warg turns to you, Bukesh, and takes a bite out of you, seeing you as you're the weakest target at this point. But it only rolls an 11. So with the amount of remaining strength that you have, you move your shield, and its jaws bounce off the shield as you as much as you can, just kind of push it off, and it just kind of reacts back to you, growling in your face. The saliva you feel the heat of its breath, and the smell of the mixture of both your blood and his just kind of fills your nostrils. All right, Zero, it's your turn.
Attack him again.
Okay.
$18.
18, that'll hit. Roll your damage. Okay, 5 plus 8, 13 points of damage. Okay, you take your sword. Seeing as it attacks, you see your opportunity and you swing down at its neck from overhand, and it makes a nice clean cut as you can see the blood splurt out from it as it rears back and shakes its head, which causes the blood to kind of fly out a little bit more. Some kind of splatters against your face, but too locked in the battle doesn't really phase you at this point. But you made a nice strike. The warg is starting to kind of waver a little bit of its feet. It's breathing heavier, body rising up and down a little quicker. Mezzo, it's your turn. Unless, Zero, you have anything for your bonus action.
As a bonus action, I was a thaumaturgy to change my eye to a off-white eye appearance and try to intimidate him.
To intimidate the warg. Okay, you change your eyes to that color, and you kind of look at it, and you make the scariest face you can, and the warg looks back at you and makes an equally, if not more scarier face at you, baring its fangs, threatening to chomp at your neck. Alright, Mezzo, your turn.
Slightly frustrated that my matron's assistance has failed me on my last attempt. I also realized that using a healing light is a bonus action.
Okay.
So the Dragonborn, he's now the one looking really bad off, correct?
Oh yes.
I shall use my 2 final pools of light, begging my matron for assistance, unlike the lack of it she gave me for my last action.
Sure, blame your
and I
matron.
shall heal.
Alright, 2d6 of healing. So 7 points of healing to Bukesh. Alright.
Thank you.
The warm the warm bulbs envelop your body, and you can feel your strength returning a little bit, but it's better than nothing.
I shall draw my bow back up and loose an arrow into the standing wolf.
Okay. Roll your attack, please.
Oops.
That is, I was about to say, that was a really good roll, but 16, that'll still hit. Roll your damage. Boom, 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 boom. You knock your arrow. You knock your arrow, and under your breath, you whisper one more prayer as you kind of instinctively close your eyes, putting your faith in your matron this time, and you let go. You loose your arrow, and it, as the warg kind of opens its mouth, just about to kind of chomp down on the tiefling in front of it, the arrow pierces almost right to the feathers into the throat of the warg as it kind of chokes a little bit and kind of before collapsing on the ground, writhing a little bit more, and with one final death rattle, it becomes still. Okay. With that, we're still in battle order, so it is Oberon's turn. Unless you have any final thing you want to do, Mezzo movement.
Yes, I shall walk over here and knock an arrow to prepare to shoot it in the head.
Okay. All right, Oberon, your turn. Now.
Well, if he's going to that one, I guess I'll go to the other one and do the whole reckless attack.
Okay.
Isn't there like a coup de grace move in this one?
Coup de grace.
I wasn't sure if that existed.
I will. It's asleep.
It's an advantage on attack, and since it's asleep, it's also
Is it incapacitated
critical.
when it's asleep? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Advantage on your attack, so you don't need to do reckless attack. You already have an advantage, unless you want to give yourself double advantage, but it's an auto crit if you hit. So.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, 25.
At least
That'll
I have
hit.
advantage.
Yeah. Well, you rolled your first one, so that's good.
And is it 46 or do I just multiply the result?
Now, double your dice. I like rolling dice, so that's my rule. All right, pretty good. 24 points of damage. Oh, you step up to it, and with all your might, you bring you kind of like a golfer, kind of. You kind of line up. You take your hammer out, and you kind of put the head down on its neck where you find it's the most weak point. You swing it back around, and with all your weight, with a battle cry, you bring it down on the neck, and it just kind of collapses down. But with a yelp, the eyes of the warg open up as it kind of springs up to its feet, backs off just a little bit, but it's like, it's like barely on its legs as it kind of scrambles away just a little bit. Head still very close to the ground because that was a pretty hard swing. But it's now kind of like in a panicked daze, awake, but now very, very, very injured.
And now I take my second swing with the
All right.
bonus attack.
224 or 226. Yep, that hit. Don't roll your damage. It has 2 HP points. Rolling up to it once again, you kind of switch your grip a little bit, get more comfortable. The warg's not going when you're in a very similar fashion. You bring it down once again on the same spot as best as you can, and it snaps clean through the neck as the head bends at a very unnatural angle, but the warg just kind of like almost collapses on top of its own head. It's bent underneath into its belly. It's dead.
Yay.
All right.
I'll put my hammer down and dust off my hands.
Yeah, just kind of hammer down, handle up, all in a day's work. Okay, Shintani, your turn.
They're all dead, right?
You got one more that's bleeding out, and you see the stranger who've joined the fray late. Knock an arrow.
Oh, okay.
Knock an arrow, standing right next to it.
All right, well, I'm going to shoot a ray of frost at it.
Michael! All right,
Into the bunch.
All
all
right,
right, roll your
so
attack. 22, that'll hit. Roll your damage.
and, I think it's 1d8, right? Yes, 1d8.
All right. I wanted you to roll a 1. I had 2 HP points. But you hold out your hand and just kind of the snow just starts to kind of billow out from the hand as it kind of envelops it, and you can see this wolf as it's sleeping. The frost envelop its entire body as the movement of the body of its breathing becomes slower and slower before it finally becomes still as it enters an eternal sleep. Blah blah blah. Whatever artist's language. And with that, all of your all the wargs lie dead at your guys' feet, and the night becomes still, and you guys are now left kind of dealing with your wounds as well as
Shoot, the music just kicked in.
a new companion a new
Weird.
companion with in your midst. The music has been playing for me the entire time, but okay. So Mezzo, you were ready to knock your arrow before the chill winds of Shintani's attack. Essentially gave it a merciful kill. Essentially never waking it from its sleep and allowed it to pass peacefully before you replace your arrow in its quiver and put your bow back where it was.
Yes, and when I put my bow back, I just put it behind my back and it simply disappears.
Oh, neat.
It dematerializes, and you the rest of the party kind of looks around and be like, "Oh, it's a neat party trick."
Impressive. Well met, stranger. I'm Shintani, a mage. Who might
I'm
you
well
be?
aware of what people who can shoot frost out of their hands are, my friend. My name is Mezzo.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Mezzo. What brings you to wandering about this forest?
What brings me here? Many
Yes.
things. What brings you here?
We're traveling to whatever the name of the town is. Insert X.
You're traveling to. There was no given name for the marketplace. It was just addressed to. He's dealing with a marketeer at his location of business.
Okay,
That's all as much
we're
as it is.
traveling in direction X along this road to the next village.
I'm back. What I missed?
I'm sorry.
What I missed? Saying Sintani killed the wolf.
Yes.
Yeah,
All wolves
Shintani
are
killed
dead
him.
now.
Yeah, all the wargs are dead, and you guys are kind of like, it's about maybe like 3 a.m. at this point. You guys are pretty tired, pretty exhausted.
I take work meat.
you start moving around. Okay, for this, I'm gonna have you do a nature check to try to skin it and get it into an appropriate place for where you can harvest its delicious.
Before we
delicious
do the
meats.
whole meat harvesting deal, maybe we should get you somewhat less than near dead.
And also maybe we should pay our respects to the matron of the hunt before we do any desecration of these animals.
Could be.
All right.
It would be
So-
wise because it might have been something you've done to annoy her that brought them upon you.
Would using wood from some of her dead trees anger her?
The tree is already dead. It's there for you to use. But these
And
animals were just
I know
hunting.
not
These animals
what
were
we
just
could have
hunting.
done.
All I ask is this: a little respect to all creatures of nature. You obviously have followed matrons of different sorts.
Yes, everybody has their own.
Who are you asking?
Who you follow is your business.
Everyone, maybe we should just, we have a few injured. Maybe we should just, light the fire, cook some food, and we can sort this out over a meal. I'll sing a song, and maybe we can, heal up.
Who's the most injured right now? This is asking out of character.
That would be
Bukash.
the Dragonborn Bukash, yeah.
I
So-
shall cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. The stranger walks up to you, Bukash, and kind of lays his hands on one on your arm where the injury is most, and the one on your shoulder. As he kind of breathes out, you can feel the healing energy kind of roll over him. You heal for 16 points of health. Wow. That is a really good heal roll on you. You feel almost pretty much back to shape. As you close your eyes and you take a deep breath, the smell of blood no longer penetrating your senses, and you feel pretty much back to normal.
Anyone more hurt?
Anyone else hurt? You guys
I don't
go
think
around
so.
to your-
Need rest.
So,
Yeah.
I use lay your hands on Oberon.
Okay.
Not
so
that-
you're-
I heal 10.
Well, before you do that, I was gonna say, it seems through his suggestion that you guys are taking a short rest. If you want to use your hit die to heal up rather than spell slots or lay of hands pools. So that is the
Okay.
I also got
So we
also
roll
got,
the
like,
hit
follow
dice, or the hit dice if what we heal.
So the hit dice. If you go into the D&D Beyond tool, and you go under limited use, you'll hit the button short rest, and it'll mark off the number of hit dice, and that is the dice that your hit dice is your hit point dice, and that's how many die you roll to regenerate hit points over the course of an hour or so, or a couple of hours.
Where is the short rest?
On your page, limited use, so it's in like the bottommost row on the left. So you click that, and it'll show you what you can recover from a short rest, and how many hit dice are you using, and stuff like that. Okay. Yes. And then Shaddy Boy has Song of Healing because he is a bard. And so.
Yay.
So we'll say for the purposes of this, you guys are all doing a short rest. You guys, Shintani, during this, if you want to use your Arcane Recovery, that's also allowable.
Okay, I will.
Okay. And I'll leave it up to you guys to refill your hit points and things like that. And so.
Alright.
Hooray! I'm back up to full.
Woo.
The downside is I have one level of exhaustion that lasts until my next long rest.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping that we'd still be finishing our rest this
Well,
evening.
it's 3 a.m. and a long rest is 8 hours, so we could get a late start in the morning
Yeah.
and still have a long rest. That's okay with me.
All
guys
I
wanna
need
do
is a
that?
short rest. If you need rest, I can take watch. You obviously are new to the forest. I shall help you in your endeavor.
Thank you.
As
But I
you
do take a
guys-
short rest so I can regain my spell slots.
Yeah. So you guys take a short rest. So Mezzo, give me a perception check. With advantage
Hey,
because you are very familiar with this neck of the woods per se.
Alrighty, 1 second. I shall take the 16.
16. All right. You kind of climb your way back up into that tree you had, and you kind of make yourself comfortable as you watch around. With your dark vision, as well as kind of like the blessing of your matron as well. You see and hear more than the average person would. You are you hear the birds chirping. You hear the insects crawling, as well as the rabbits and the squirrels just doing their business and everything. You don't discern anything that is of threat or out of the ordinary, and with that, you're satisfied that perhaps if your matron was upset, that her anger has passed, or at least she is giving you her blessing and protection for the remainder of this night, and you feel very calm about that, and very, very calm and confident in that feeling that you get.
Excellent, and that means her sister is probably pacified as well. That sounds good.
All right. Can you guys hear my
I
vacuum?
wanna ask.
My roommates are.
I wanna ask the new guy if this meat is for you can eat this meat.
So he's asking, is it okay to carve up the animals and harvest the meats?
I will give a short blessing for it, and then yes.
Okay, so you kind of like hop down from your tree and you move over to the paladin, and over the bodies of the wargs, you kind of close your hands together, bow your head as you pay a small thanks to the goddess of nature for to be able to utilize everything that is provided even past its life in order to sustain and continue on the cycle. And with that, you kind of open up your hands and gesture towards Lukash that he is welcome to utilize what has been left behind.
Okay,
Give him a short nod, and I go back to my tree.
Yep, you go back.
Milton, you hungry?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so you guys get to work. If you're gonna harvest these harvesters, I want one of you guys to roll with advantage because you guys are doing this together.
I'll do it because I'm trying to practice my cookery.
Okay, so you pull out a small dagger and you kind of like a little more spring in your step, a little bit kind of like excited at the prospects of expanding your culinary knowledge. Give me a nature check as you try to dissect this warg corpse and harvest some nice parts of meat. And roll me one more. Okay, 18. So, given that it's your first time, you're a little nervous about, whether or not you can go around, but thankfully there's a lot of corpses around. The first one doesn't go as well as you'd like. You cut off a nice hunk of meat, but it's still got like some of the furs attached to it, and it's like a little bloody and still messy and things like that. But you move towards a third corpse, and over the course of like maybe 30 minutes or so, with Bukish's assistance, you manage to harvest, let's say, 5 pounds of warg meat, if you want to add that to your inventory. As well as, let's say, for the sake of this, one fully intact warg pelt as well.
Nice.
Alright, with that. And so after you do that, you take one of, I assume, if you want to cook some of the meats at this point.
I wanna take the fang
Oh, you want to also take the teeth. So while you're...
of the war who almost killed me
Okay.
as a trophy.
As Shaddy is, as Milton is gutting this one, you kind of look down at the one that bit your teeth. Now you hit this one previously, and this is the one with the split snout. So it has a mark down the center. There's a couple of teeth missing, but you managed to kind of, with your bare hands, slight out of anger and spite, you just kind of rip this fang out from it. And from this particular word, you harvest two fangs. Yep. Yeah, Mezzo, you recover.
Question real quick.
Yep.
So can I only have like 2 possessions on D&D Beyond?
What do you mean 2 sessions?
2 possessions. You see, there's the other possessions and add items.
Oh, gotcha.
And I can't seem to add any more.
Let me look into this. While I'm looking into this, is there anything else anybody else is doing for RP flavor, or are you just like kind of just taking a breather?
Just resting. I think what you do is you go to the other holdings thing and then you add it, and then you put a return in for what you got and just keep listing.
Yeah, it's one text box. It's not individual items.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yep. All right. Anybody doing anything else?
I asked the group if they think we can make hoods with the warg skin.
If you can make hoods with the pelt. You only have 1 pelt in your possession, and that's probably good enough to make. And you're not skilled in this, keep in mind, but you could try to make probably only 1 kind of like a cloak.
Or we could wait for a tailor in town.
Yeah, you can bring it back to a tanner and get that entire process done by a professional for a small fee if you want.
So we carry the warg bodies.
You want to carry the bodies? These are.
Oh, you mean I can take the skin and bring to the city?
You only manage out of the six corpses, because you guys are a little unlearned and unpracticed. You only manage to get enough fur to constitute 1 full pelt. And the bodies at this point are mangled. There's chunks of meat, bones sticking out, and they're just not a pretty sight, really.
I find all this very amusing. I'm attempting to skin the animals.
Yeah, you sit in your tree, kind of half keeping an eye and ear out on the surroundings, as well as just kind of like, unconsciously you pull your own hunting knife from your boot and kind of twiddle it around and mimic the motions in a much more practiced manner, as you see Milton kind of curse under his breath as he, pricks his finger a little bit, and Bukash just angrily ripping teeth out of the jaws.
Okay,
all right.
Then it's time
It's
to
cooking
cook.
time.
All right, so Milton and Bukash come up together, and you guys kind of through scouring, you find some sticks, and you get the fire going again. And let's say
I ask everybody if they want something.
Who wants to eat? Bukash asks.
I'll raise my hands. I'll say
Oberon
I.
I
saunters
shall
over,
partake.
and you hop down from your tree. We'll say Shinchani's already sitting there, and she just kind of nods her head. So you all gather around the fire. For these people, let's just say, for the sake of this, you take 1 pound of the meat you have, and you kind of separate it out into 6 servings, and you kind of have like nice skewers of sort of stuff. So Milton, are you handling all the cooking, or are you just kind of campfire style handing them out to people?
Maybe I could, let everyone share a bit, have their own way.
Okay, so everyone kind of cooks at their leisure. Milton, because you are the one that's trying to be more like improving your skill, I want you to just roll me a d20 and add your.
I wanna help
nature.
a little.
You want to say again?
I wanna help Milton cook a little.
You want to help Milton cook? Okay. Let's say because you're working together, I want you also to roll a nature check. Let's yeah, sure, nature, because you're cooking raw meat from the wild. So Bukesh, give me that.
So then be survival.
Nature. Okay, so yeah, Milton, you're kind of like keeping a close eye on it, and you're kind of like focusing really hard. You're trying to get it to a nice like medium rare, and then you kind of like it's gonna take a little bit, so you kind of stick your stick in the ground and kind of like lean back a little bit, take a big yawn and close your eyes, just kind of wait it out, and you close it for just a little bit too long before you realize, oh shoot, and you kind of pull it back, and you have a nice kind of like half charred and the other one's half well done kind of meat, and you're like you kind of sigh a little bit, like could have done better. Bukash, on the other hand, is a lot more attentive, feeling a lot more rejuvenated from the healing as he, rotates it and turns it and actively, gets it nice heated on all sides. He get it out to maybe a medium well, so not as bloody as perhaps you would like or you would want, but it's, probably a lot less chewy than the and more gives a little bit more texture and a less rubbery feel than Milton's charred and fully well cooked all the way through steak. And the rest of you guys not really caring. You guys get to a nice point where it's fully cooked, no bacteria, and you chomp down. You feel pretty happy with where you're at.
It's good, but not as good as the imp.
You hear Bukash make the comparisons, and you pull out another piece of that dried imp jerky, and you hold it next to the fire, dehydrate it a little bit, and you take another bite out of that and smile back in satisfaction. Okay.
Okay, that's done.
So with
Hey,
this, you guys.
Buka, did you find out how many slots you recover? Did that question get answered for you?
He doesn't recover spell slots as a paladin over a short rest, I don't think.
Oh,
They're
really?
Spell slots, right?
Okay.
All right. So.
Sadie said only warlocks.
So let me just make sure. Yeah, it's normal spell casting, so you don't recover anything over a short rest. But as you guys spend your time getting to know a little bit more, spending just kind of like downtime after the course. During this time, Mezzo, you kind of wander over towards the corpses and kind of gather them more together, and in a way you sort of kind of like arrange them in a more presentable manner, and bow your head once again, and you give them some sort of like funeral rites in a way, but just like saying once again your thanks to the goddess of nature and to your matron for allowing us to take advantage of what has been presented from a bad situation.
Yes, and I don't think I've ever gotten the answer of what are these 5 doing in the woods. He seemed quite lost in a way.
We're heading up the road to the next village to perform a task and then heading back.
A task? Sounds mysterious.
Oh, it's just a small errand for somebody in Asuji.
Fuji.
You ever been there? Interesting town.
No, I come from a distant place.
What brings you all the way out here then?
Many reasons. My matron asked me to be here, and I must comply. But I have my own personal reasons as well.
Ah. Well, you seem very handy with the bow and a spell. You're welcome to accompany us when the morning light comes. Although we'll probably start later in the morning as we want everybody to recover fully and be at full strength.
Understood, and I think you would need my assistance traveling through these woods. None of you seem like the nature type.
I am certainly not, and I'd love your assistance.
Then you shall have it. I am here to protect the innocent and the unaware.
And that's me, at least, for sure.
With that, you guys, Shintani, you hold out your hand and he takes it in your grasp as you kind of come to agreement that he will, for the time being, join you on your travels. And with that, if there's nothing else, you guys ready to kind of get a little bit more of a full rest before you start your day tomorrow?
Yeah, so we'll start late morning, whatever it takes to get a full rest, so
Okay.
Oberon can be at full strength.
So then we ask his name at least.
He already introduced himself. He said his name.
Yeah, he introduced it. Mezzo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, you guys shovel some dirt onto the fire to get it some coal, so it's a little bit low light. And you guys kind of sit
But
down.
there is a point with that. I'm the only one that mentioned my name to him, so
That is
he doesn't
true.
know anybody. Nobody else knows his.
So, and for the most part, Mezzo not too keen on learning it just now. He said probably in due time, if the time arises for this, he'll learn the names of his companions for the time being. But with that, you guys all tucker away for the rest of the night. Belly's full, and a lot more kind of relaxed and calm after the guarantee of Mezzo saying that the night will pass uneventfully, without incident. As the sun rises, the birds start singing, and you guys benefit now, staying a little bit more, getting a lazy start to you guys. You guys benefit now from the effects of a long rest if you guys want to go put that in. The sun, it's approaching probably about 11 a.m. at this point. During this time, Mezzo had gone out and done some gatherings, knowing his knowledge of the environment. He has gathered some kind of fruits and berries and bushels, and it's kind of like presents to you in such like an unraveled cornucopia of nature's bounty, as you guys, gladly partake of what's going on in this.
Plenty of fruits and nuts.
Fruits and nuts,
Yes.
there's like an apple. And so it's about as much as you can gather from this area.
The high fantasy equivalent of Gorp.
And you guys partake in that. All right, so with that, you guys kind of, unless anybody has any sort of morning stuff to do, you guys saddle up.
With long rest, we recover spell slots.
Yes,
Yep.
You recover all your spells after a long rest, so you guys do that, as well as half of your hit dice, if you used any. But so you guys pack up, and you all make your way back to the road, and you guys
Yep,
make
and
your.
When we get to the road, I'm of course casting mage armor upon myself.
Yep, as start of your day, as you make your way travels using.
A rather paranoid type, aren't you?
I like to be prepared.
So Mezzo and Shintani kind of take the head, Mezzo being the one. I'm moving you guys back to the title page. We don't need this combat page anymore. Mezzo and Shintani take the head as Shintani holds out the map and starts kind of saying, we're going here, blah, blah, blah. The rest of you guys, I want you to make perception checks, as these two are probably just kind of leading the way as well. So you guys are kind of keeping watch while Mezzo's directing. Mezzo, if you want to... Actually, everyone just give me perception checks. Because that's fun.
Yay, a good roll.
Why I don't roll like this in combat?
I don't know, man. So under the guidance of your new nature friend, you make your way. You seem to be making your way a lot faster than you guys have typically made in the past couple of days. And after maybe a couple of hours, you guys, taking a couple of back roads and things like that, you manage to kind of pick up, some shortcuts, as well as he points out fun nature facts as you as you pass along, as like pointing out different plants and
Yes,
different
do
types
not
of
mess
trees.
with that tree. Definitely don't mess with that tree. Don't mess with that tree at all.
But after a couple hours, you find yourself come to an interesting clearing. So the forest is left behind. You have now approached more of like an open plains, but you come to kind of like a stone, kind of like a large rock on the edge of the forest. As Mezzo points out, this is the destination. The music cut out for me. How did it do that? Come back,
There's the
music.
what?
Anyways, the you guys can still hear me, right?
Yep.
I missed what you
I
just said
can't.
about the
I've lost
stone.
all audio. Actually, give me 1 second. I know what's wrong. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Hello, I'm back.
Hey,
My Bluetooth
can hear you.
headphones ran out of battery, is what happened.
Understood. What did you say about the vestige of the stone, or whatever it was?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm getting right to that. So you a little bit confused because Shintani had been talking about the location. They're going to a nearby village to do something, but the location you brought to them was kind of like a giant rock in the middle of at the edge of the forest. But with confidence, you pointed out, this is your destination. You're not really knowing what they're looking for either, because you're like, hey, this is the point on the map. That's where it is.
It was
So
called vestige stone.
We're at where we're supposed to be, is what you're saying.
Yep.
And there's just a big rock.
From this side, it appears to be a big rock. It's maybe about 40-foot radius rock, about maybe 10 feet tall.
Aside from the road itself, is there any sign of civilization?
Looking around, you were actually kind of made your way through kind of like a forest path. There doesn't really seem to be there's like, you passed no huts or houses along the way. You saw villages off in the distance from where you were traveling on the main road, but this led you more off path and away from that direction.
I take a look at sort of the purchase order part of the paper.
Okay. So
and refer to that again to figure out who the party we're supposed to meet is.
So you
I'll try and eavesdrop non-conspicuously over his shoulder, because right now I think they're crazy because they want to trade with a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of like lean over as she pulls out, and Shintani, you're kind of like muttering under your breath, and you're like,
I shall roll a sleight of hand check on that.
stealth check actually.
No, stealth check. I'm sorry, yeah, stealth.
Yeah, stealth check on that. So as you're reading this, you're like, the marketeer, and then you're kind of like turning it over on your head. 12 and or Shintani, do you carry
Here's my opposing perception check. Oh, well.
You don't notice he's kind of leaning over his shoulder, arching his back a little bit. And so you kind of look at that, and then you read it once again, and then you're like, and you turn back to your map, and then you kind of squint a lot, and it's a kind of like an old, hastily drawn map, and then you can actually kind of see the symbol on he writes for your location is a Z, to marking like you're going to this place, and you're a little confused. So you kind of like Mezzo, give me a perception check.
Alrighty, 1 second. A whopping 11.
Whopping 11. You look at the rock, and it looks like a little ordinary rock, and you kind of cock your head to the side, but you do notice kind of like off and around towards the left side of this giant rock, you see what seems to be a little bit of like a sharp engraving, if not like a carving into the side, and a little curious, kind of out of place, very unnatural looking indentation along that side of the rock.
Okay, I walk over to it. I don't explain myself.
So you kind of leave the party a little bit, you circle around looking around, and as you rotate around, you see it becomes more and more clear into view that this is an engraving that has a giant Z into this rock, and a little bit more further over, you start to actually see a small kind of like stone archway flat into this rock. At this point, there's like a nice flat face of rock going up to 20 feet. A large stone archway is now you're viewing from the side, but it is sealed off by another stone slab.
I tap on it to see how solid it is. Does it sound like different than like the archway? Does it sound? I'm asking to be solid, but what about the stone slab? Does it sound like it's hollow on the other side?
It's solid, very solid. In
the meantime, I'm curious as to where our newfound friend went off to.
You pull down the map and you kind of look back around. You just catch him as he's kind of like eyes still
tapping on rocks,
circling around, getting close, knocking on the stone surface a little bit, and you kind of like, you're like, all right, just kind of move the party over along with him.
Right on, and I will use my investigation to check out the archway, etc., so on and so forth, looking for signs of, magical nature, etc., so on and so forth.
Sure. 17. You approach him and you see a very curious sight of this elven male putting his ear against stone and knocking it and kind of making these faces of intense focus. But you see this is a very large stone archway. It's about 10 feet tall and about 8 feet wide. Solid stone slab, flat, is sealed. It's sealed off. But in front of that is a kind of
like a tight fitting, exactly fitting.
Yeah,
stone
like
slab.
you can kind of see like there are creasing. It's not like a false archway. Like you can see the way it's designed is the slab is meant to seal off the archway, but the slab is meant to be removed to allow entryway. And as you kind of your eyes move past that into the area in front of it, you see this large written circle into the ground with strange carvings around it. It's about maybe a 5-foot radius circle. And next to
they look at all similar to the other arch, the portal that we used many months ago.
Many months ago. Yeah, a couple days ago. No, they don't look similar. Actually, make an Arcana check. Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's not similar to the portal you guys took to the strange plane where you met Kai Lee that other time. However, it is magical in nature. This circle, you can feel a small hum of energy come from it. And as you examine the rest of the area, it's an unnatural clearing, but you do see a very large stone set off a couple of feet away from the circle. With a large indentation right next to it.
Okay, well, I'll investigate that.
Okay.
Using my Arcana as well. I'll roll if you wish.
No, I'm just gonna use your rolls. They were recent enough. As you approach that scene, you see this is a very large stone. It's about almost as tall as you, and it's very very heavy looking at the very least. You kind of give it a little nudge and doesn't move at all. The indentation that's next to it seems to fit the curvature of the stone. Now it's not like a perfectly spherical or shaped stone now off to the side. It's like just a very large rock.
So it's definitely like man-made, like it was carved.
No, the stone seems natural actually, but it's just a very large natural stone, about 5 feet tall and maybe like roughly it takes up a 5 cubic foot, but it's not like a perfect cube or a perfect sphere. It's just a rock. It's naturally shaped. Doesn't seem to be carved of any sort. and then the indentation next to it seems to, you can kind of infer from that like it was made by that rock being there, but you're very curious just to see why the indentation is next to it as opposed to,
I try and look for any like hitting markings, runes, or glyphs.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, I am horrible at that. I shall do it though.
16.
Not
Tell you
bad.
what, we can sort of maybe cut part of this to the cut this short. I'm going to ritually cast detect magic.
Okay. 10 minutes pass as you draw this out. You do detect magic. The circle in and of itself is magic, as well as the stone slab, not the archway, but the slab that is guarding the entryway. It is of transmutation, school of magic.
Makes sense.
Okay, and that is much as you. And Mezzo, your investigation check reveals that there are carvings above, and it is in Elvish script, which you do read because you are an elf. And
I can read it too, by the way.
yeah, and you can read it too, and anybody else who can read Elvish for that matter. And it says in the script, it says, "Welcome to Zen's Market."
Isn't this
Oh, wow.
clever?
Okay.
Okay, no indication of how to activate it or whatever.
He must be a fan of Sugami.
So, you are presented with a magical runic circle as well as a magical slab, which leads into this, which you assume is your destination, Zen's Market.
Yep. Okay.
Well, this is your show, my friends. Should you
Well,
knock?
so remind me where the circle is.
So the circle
in
is
relation to
about.
the slab.
So the circle is roughly 5 feet from the entrance of from the archway, from the entrance, and it is a 5-foot radius, so 10 feet in diameter. Perfect circle. The stone sits off to, if you're facing the archway, it sits maybe a couple to 3 feet off to the side, the left side. And if it was a clock, the stone would be at about 8 o'clock, but the indentation is at 9.
I think we should try knocking. We should respect the rock.
I'm all for it.
What do you guys do?
I
No.
let the human do.
What are you guys doing?
Well, unless anyone else has any suggestions, I suggest knocking.
Okay. So you go up once again and you try to against a stone. Once you get that same very solid thing, but there's no. You wait a couple moments, nothing happens. The Dragonborn just kind of sits back, pulls out another piece of imp jerky, and starts chewing on it as he observes you guys.
Well, we can always give it over to the meat wizards. Maybe they can knock down the door, but I don't think that'd be very nice since you're trying to pick up a piece of art, was it?
Yes. So, from the circle, can you reach the sort of rock with the indentation?
The rock is it's within reach. It's about a few feet off, but that's about it.
And at this indentation, does it look like anything would fit in it precisely?
You kind of determined that. So hold on. The indentation is in the ground, next to the runic circle, but the rock sits a few feet away from it, as if it kind of like rotated over, a step.
But it's 5 feet, 5 cubic feet of rock.
It's a giant rock, yeah.
Is it like tipped in any kind of?
Not really. It's very rough shaped, but it's not like a perfect sphere or a cube. So it's a natural round looking rock, but it's just huge.
All right, I'm gonna go stand in the magic circle.
So as you cross the threshold into the circle, you feel your body lift up off the ground a couple of feet, and instinctively you kind of like use your hands to balance yourself, and you hear off the stone slab just a little bit as the dust kind of settles as it very, very slightly inches, like literally 1 inch off the ground, lifts up just a little bit as you're kind of flailing around off the ground.
Well, I guess I'll stay in the circle.
So you stay in the circle, and
yes.
you slow down your body movements, and you can see the slab shifts back into place.
So there's a passageway through the arch.
Yes, what's on the other side of the open arch now?
Oh, no, the slab is down. It is down. It shifts back into its sealed position as you stopped moving.
Oh, well, I will just
I can solve
jog
this.
in place.
I shall take the place. You guys go in, and I have an ability to get to where you're at rather quickly.
So you, Mezzo, you also join Shintani in the circle. You step over, and your body floats up a couple feet off, and you move a bullet. Shintani just kind of air runs a little bit, and you can see the stone once again shifts up slowly. It's about maybe half a foot off the ground at this point.
We'll keep moving in the circle.
We'll keep moving until it's fully open.
It goes up. It goes up maybe another couple of inches, and that's about as much as it's rising.
Okay, somebody else join us in the circle.
Can I slide underneath it?
It's like 8 inches off the ground. No.
Okay. Wait. So, man, it's too small. Okay.
I remember Sintani has the only map, so I follow here.
So you guys. So are people jumping into the circle?
Yeah, perhaps someone who's stronger at running than us.
So
well, I'm in.
So you all kind of jump into the circle, kind of like shrugging your shoulders, like, it's worth a shot. And you all kind of flail around as much as you can into the circle. And you kind of notice as you're doing it, you're not necessarily staying in place. Your body is just kind of like floating around within the circle a little bit. And actually, a little bit, Milton, you kind of gradually shift towards the edge of the circle. And as you break the plane outside of your body, just kind of plops back down on the ground as well. But then you kind of quickly put yourself and you like go back into the circle. And jog around. As you guys are all kind of flailing around a little bit, the stone archway rolls up a little bit. It's about maybe 4 feet tall at this point.
Is there something on the inside, like a passageway or something?
It's dark from what you can see, and you guys are kind of like floating around, so you can't really get a great look at it.
My dark vision?
It's pitch dark. From the angle you can see.
So everybody that's still in the circle is floating still?
Everyone's floating. Everyone's floating. You notice that when Milton fell out of the circle, the stone shifted down just again, and as he got back in, it started lifting up a little bit more again.
I cast light on the boulder so we can see inside the passageway.
You cast light on. If you cast light on the boulder is sitting off to the side, about 10-15 feet away from the archway. So
the one that we're moving.
Oh,
it doesn't so it doesn't reflect light inside.
Oh, you're moving the boulder.
Yeah, but if I reflect light on the boulder, some of it should look go inside, right?
Sure, yeah, you kind of and you see it. You see a set of staircase that descends down into more darkness, and that's as much as you can see.
So
you guys make a run for it. Maybe you'll make it in, and I shall get in. And I shall stay in here as long as possible.
Okay. Well, can we swim out? I mean, how do we? Okay.
So as you guys are kind of like.
I carry Milton.
Alright, so you guys kind of get in position at the edge of the circle. So the edge of the circle is still like, a distance away. It's about maybe 5 to 10 feet away from the entrance. As you guys kind of break the plane of the circle, you notice it was about maybe 4 feet, so if you guys ducked under at that point when you were all in the circle, but as soon as you exit the circle, it drops back down to about maybe only exposing a foot at this point. And as you try to scramble your best to get to the edge, by the time you make it towards the slab.
Like I said, I stay in the circle running still.
You stay in the circle, and it's holding at that about 1 foot.
It's somehow by mass. So what I think we do is somehow tip this rock into the circle.
Or find other rocks and dirt and throw it into the and throw it into the field.
So you guys are you just kind of like gathering kind of like debris from around, like sticks and...
Well,
I shall
does there seem to be any way to easily tip this huge rock into the circle?
You guys can try. It's a giant rock.
Well, let's do it.
All right. So,
I mean, I'm a mage and have -1 on my strength test.
all right. So
I have a +6 to my athletics. I try to shift the rock.
So the dwarf.
But
the
we
dwarf,
could all maybe get a rope and pull it.
I have to.
Okay, so the dragonborn and the dwarf kind of like stand aside, everybody, as they get behind the rock and shoulder. Both of you guys make athletics checks. (16 and 16). All right, you guys jam your shoulders into it and you kind of it kind of tips over and starts rolling a little bit as it breaks the plane of the thing. It floats up again, and you can see a very small, slowly kind of bouncing a little bit and rotating before it kind of ends still a little bit. As soon as it starts as it entered, you see the gate shoot up almost like 8 feet up. But as soon as
Told ya.
the door starts, the stone starts kind of settling a little bit. The closes until finally the stone comes to kind of a rest, maybe a couple feet into the circle. It stops moving before the stone slab slams down onto the ground ceiling.
I saw this in the Ocarina of Time.
I was about to say, when it was opened, could anyone run through? How much time do we have between it shooting open and...
Like 2 seconds before the stone, very kind of quickly after a few seconds, came to a stop, and then the stone door slammed shut again.
So where's the
someone
big
stays
stone
in
that they tipped?
That was the big stone. It went into the center of the circle, started floating, and when it came to rest, as it entered the circle, the door opened up, but as the stone came to rest, it closed.
Okay, so the stone is now resting completely within the circle.
Completely
is that
still
correct?
in the circle, not moving. Just
What if we
suspended.
jostle the stone? Will it pop back up?
So you take your so how do you jostle? Do you like take your quarterstaff and just?
Well, I asked our two strong people to sort of...
It's a couple
Yes.
feet in. If they
Get the
try
meat
to
wizards.
if they try to reach into it, they'll get caught in the beam as well, and they'll start
Okay,
rolling.
overall, let's do this.
Okay, you guys try to go into the center of the circle, but you guys find yourselves lifted back up. As you lift up, it shifts again and slowly, about maybe half a foot off the ground once again, and you guys make and you kind of like, it's kind of like outer space, like where you kind of float and you bump up against the rock and try to push it away. And you inadvertently, because the stone is really heavy, so you manage to push yourselves out of the circle a little bit. But as the stone is floating a little bit and it kind of bounces and it starts rotating, the door slowly opens up. And
People go now.
But by the time it reaches 4 feet, 5 feet, the stone falls out of the circle, slams shut again.
If someone
All right,
stays
well,
in the circle
okay,
and it
okay.
guides the stone, because it's like zero gravity, right? If someone
Yeah.
stays in the circle and keeps the stone within the circle, let's try that. I'll jump in the circle and try and keep.
Well, that's
the stone.
kind of
It's
what I
zero
was
gravity.
thinking, but I thought he said that it came to rest within the circle just fine.
Well, no, like
It didn't
have it
like-
floating, and I'll like sit and I'll keep on spinning it so it keeps on moving. So someone's actually in the circle spinning the stone, and everyone goes through, and then I have my own ways of getting into this place.
Okay, all right.
I
We can try
I
that.
can already get in.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll all stand right by the door,
Okay.
except for Mezzo.
All right.
And Mezzo, do your thing.
Okay.
Once the big guys get the stone in the air,
Right.
I'll start spinning it. Everyone goes running in. I'll be in the
Yeah,
thing 'cause it's
everybody
zero
but the
gravity. I'm
big guys
floating
are
in there.
standing right by the door, though.
Okay.
And Oberon, if you have the sack of gold, give it to me, just in case.
Okay, I'll hand over the sack of gold.
All right. So you guys get into position. Oberon and
Yep.
Ukesh, you guys shoulder up against the rock. Mezzo gives you a nod as you push it in. It lifts up into the force field. Mezzo,
I start spinning it.
You follow
I
in
follow.
after it, floating in, and you just kind of, as much as you can, give me an athletics check to try
Oh,
and
boy.
spin this giant rock.
Well, as soon as it opens at all, I'm running in.
It opens up maybe 3 feet at first, and it slowly lowers. So
Well, I'm gonna barrel roll into the thing.
give me an athletics check, acrobatics check.
I do have an acrobatics.
Okay.
I'm no good at this.
God.
Shintani,
You might have a, you might have a dead mage after
Accurate
this if I roll bad.
acrobatics. 8.
My bad.
So you do your best to
we
try.
might have a dead mage.
You try to slide under really quickly. And one thing that you didn't notice, this is slab. You didn't notice before. This slab is thick. It is thicker than you thought. So you just try to slide through, but then you look up and you realize not only is the slab slowly lowering towards you again. You still got a few feet of crawling to do, so as much as you can, you try to crawl, but it slowly comes to rest right on your calves, just below your knees, and the crushing weight starts to weigh down as Mezzo's desperately trying to spin this rock.
Strong people, help.
It's really difficult. He calls for help from Oberon, but in the meantime, you take Shintani. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
Oberon and Bukash, I'm assuming you guys jump
Yeah,
in. You
I'll
guys
try.
jump in. It lifts up a little bit, and you can manage just in time to scoot your legs out before.
All right. Well, you know the nice thing about this
slowly
is
begins to descend again.
is my arcane ward takes 8 points of damage, and I
Okay.
have 1 point of damage left on my arcane ward.
Okay.
So my ankle is not crushed
But
due to
you're still cold sweating a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right, Bukash and Oberon, give me an athletics check because you're helping to spin this thing.
Well, there you go.
All right, with the three of you now, you guys are slowly rotating this object before it picks up speed. It stays pretty balanced in the center as it picks up speed, spinning faster and faster. You can see the door finally open all the way up to the top. It's the full 10-foot clearing, completely clear. As you guys spin it a little bit more and you kind of back off a little bit, the resting momentum of this heavy stone continuing to spin, and the slab stays in place.
Oh, nice.
All right, just in case, you guys all go ahead. I'll still stay here, make sure it spins, and then I'll get my way in at last.
All right. Well, I go in.
All right, so you guys...
Anybody can wants to follow.
The rest of you guys kind of... Oberon and Bukash, as you exit the circle, you notice... and previously when you exited the circle, the stone arch would kind of like shift a little bit due to the lack of presence in the circle, but this time there's no movement as you guys make your way into past the giant thick stone and into the safe clearing. Were it to shut, it wouldn't crush you guys. Only left is now Mezzo's now still in the circle with this giant spinning rock.
I missed the step into with the group.
You move in, back with the group. You look back at the circle. Stone is still spinning. Slab is still up. You see a staircase descending at the very end of that, about maybe 40 feet down. A couple of torches lighting. Hallway that flattens out, leads further inside.
Though I may be a user of magic, I don't trust it as often as I should.
Alright, and with that, Mezzo turns and starts making his way down the stairs. And I'm assuming you guys follow.
Yep.
Alright, so as you guys are making your way down, you guys start descending, and as you're making your way down, you start to hear a little bit more lively noise. You start to hearing, voices and clattering footsteps and everything as, there's people down here. And as you kind of make your way down past the torchlight, you see before you what seems to be your destination. Let me get this music working. All right.
Akindo Soul.
You wish. As you pass the archway and descend the stone staircase, you hear the chattering murmur. The closer you get to the bottom, the louder it becomes. By the time you reach the bottom, you see before you a wide room. The walls lined with an elaborate market stalls, each manned by a uniform-clad clerk. More stalls form alleys, like aisles and alleys that stretch beyond your vision. The far wall, perhaps maybe a few hundred feet away from where you are at this entrance. And all around you, people are bustling, moving from stall to stall. You hear mixes of, "I'll take that one! I raise another silver! Sold!" coming from every which direction. This is Zen's Market.
Nice. So I'll
I shall tuck my coin purse deeper into my leather armor.
Instinctively, you all kind of put your hands on your own pouches. Shintani, you tighten your grip on this heavy gold pouch.
And I'll consult the purchase order again to see if there's any clues about who to visit.
You pull it up. doesn't seem to be. It's not the best worded contract, but there doesn't seem to be. It just says the marketeer.
Okay.
From your point of view, as you see, maybe about like 10 feet in front of you, towards the entrance of one of the aisles is a half-elven male standing there, very upright, a very fine uniform wearing, hands behind his back, straight, looking ahead.
He appears official.
He appears very
so to speak.
official from his uniform. His uniform has a very nice embroidered, kind of like a light blue-colored Z into the black vest that he's wearing.
Okay, so I approach him.
So you approach him, very aware, again clutching your gold, and he looks into be like, "Oh yes, how may I help you today? Welcome to Zen's Market."
I'm supposed to find somebody named the Marketeer.
Ah, the Marketeer. Oh, well, you see, we are all marketeers here. This is not simply one vendor. This is many come to sell their own wares, up for sale, up for auction. Perhaps, is this your first time?
It is our first time.
Oh, well, then I must bid
They
you...
seek someone who owns an art piece of Suska.
Art pieces of Suzuka, please. There are many vendors. Do you have some
Who?
sort of... Huh? Excuse me? There are many vendors of artworks of very different people of different names. Now, would you perhaps have a sort of purchase order or a direction of what exactly we could find? Is maybe so I can help you out.
Well, we're looking for the final art book of the goddess Suzuka.
Ah, if you are talking about the quite sought after item,
You
the
pronounce it here
collection.
very funny than where I come from.
Well, yes, we are from different parts of the world, as many people
Yes.
come here for different reasons. But you see, there are the perhaps the item you are looking after is the bound collection of manuscripts and artworks of the once Gaku Suzuka. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Ah, well, if you would please follow me this way, and because this is your first time, I must say, one, very welcome to our establishment, and two, I must warn you, there was a little bit of a hiccup. We recently changed our terms and conditions regarding membership as well as patronage and visitage to our establishment, and unfortunately, it wasn't in time to update the entrance policy. So, if unfortunately for you, I have to deal with that. Our little security measure. I do apologize, but that should not be an issue on your second return. I know the old system required quite the heavy rotation for you to get in, but please come follow me. And he turns around and leads you down the aisle.
Does anyone have any idea what he was talking about?
Not really, but we'll find out, I guess.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I spent 3 days thinking about that puzzle. Just kidding. As he's walking and he starts giving you kind of like a tour of the area, he starts pointing out different aisles. Like, here you can find very rare occurrences of recorded songs sung by many voices of people across the seas and different continents, as well as yes, the artwork session, which we will be momentarily. But over on this side, if it may interest you, there is auctions and perhaps some sort of games and gambling, if you may be very curious to explore yourselves. That does remind me. And he reaches into kind of like a large kind of pouch he has on its sides, and he kind of pulls out some coins, which you recognize as neither gold nor silver, but seems to be kind of like a custom currency, probably towards this establishment. He kind of starts counting stuff and hands each of the six of you 20 coins. Just let's call them Z coins.
All right,
coins,
20 Z coins.
20 Z coins. There's a custom currency.
20 Z coins. Got it.
for
I stare at them oddly, like they're cursed or something.
You look at them and you're like kind of very hesitant. You flip the design over, and one has a Z on one side, the other one has an M, to indicate the different sides. Were you to use it in a game of heads or tails, but it's a very simple design, but it is unique in size and in color that it cannot be confused for a normal gold or silver piece. So you guys kind of put that all away. And he says, if you are very curious to explore after your business is done, and perhaps if a little longer if you want, please use this as your first time. This is a gift on the house, where it may say, to explore maybe the other purchase options. And you can find all manner of sorts of items for sale or purchase, but unfortunately, because we are a market of trading items, you will not really find any sort of custom works here, if that makes sense. But there are people all over the world perhaps selling their services, but we are just a hub for trade of goods, not services.
I had one question about what you said.
Yes, you guys are still kind of walking.
How can you present music without it being performed?
Well, that, you are, and he kind of like eyes you up and down in very quick interpretations. You are of the magic sort, I can tell. There are magics, perhaps, you know, perhaps what college did you go to? What was your field of study?
Abjuration.
Abjuration. Well, you see, there are many different types of schools that exist beyond what you see. You know, there is abjuration.
Oh, I'm familiar with the other schools.
Well,
I just
course.
specialize in abjuration.
Exactly, and those who are specialized in mimicry and as an illusion, perhaps, as well as enchantments. And these are things where people have enchanted certain items to capture a voice that it has heard and to replay.
Very interesting.
Yes,
basically like an on-demand audible glamour attached to an object.
Well, some, and in very advanced cases, can store more than one song or voice, or perhaps like that, and some's even up to hours, some maybe minutes, but there is a market for everybody here, and he continues to...
That is absolutely fascinating. I'd love to see some of these wares. Which aisle is that in?
Well, that would be down in the music and performance aisles, which is just down over there, a couple of aisles down from where I will be leading you. So if you just, it won't be much longer, in another 50 feet or so, you guys kind of make your way towards one particular stall. You can see yet another, this time a kind of like a gnomish male kind of standing there, kind of like dealing with a certain customer right there. It says, okay, well your purchase will be ready in roughly 2 weeks, and if you would like to pay for our special shipping and insurance policy, then that will be an extra 20 if you would just please sign right here. And the half-elf male turns to you like, well, this gentleman over here will be able to help you, so if you have any other questions, please follow any of us here in the uniforms, and we'll be gladly to assist you as much as possible. Yes, sir. What is your question?
I see you deal in a lot of goods, but do you also deal in information?
Information? Well, that depends on the type of information. If that information pertains to a specific good or perhaps manufacturer, that we can answer. But if you are looking for information on people, unfortunately, we don't really specialize in that sort of thing.
That's unfortunate, but thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm sure there are other markets for that, but I do apologize.
Maybe you should adjust your catchphrase from "we deal with everything" to "we deal with just goods."
Well, I did say we specialize in goods, not services, now didn't I? Yes.
I asked him if they sell weapons and armor.
Weapons, armor, spells, scrolls, all sorts of manner of trinkets and baubles, if you would like. That would be on the opposite side of where we're going. This is here more of just kind of like the very consumer sort of enjoy life sort of style section over here. But if you would rock it, that's more of like the battle ready, the armor. You seemed a very strapping young dragonborn, very very battle heavy, and if you would like to make a way down there, you can definitely explore some things. Though I should give you a word of warning, some things here can run a little bit pricey. With the welcoming gift, as it were, that I've given you, this is not very much to start you off. But may I suggest for your first time here, if you are not willing to make any additional investments, to perhaps explore the raffles and the prize giveaways. Those are with what you have, you could probably muster up maybe 1 or 2 special gifts for your way home.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, he'll take your attention now if you don't mind. Welcome once again, and I shall return to your post. And once again, any questions, please seek any of us out. And he kind of gives you a little polite bow before making his way back. to man his post at the entrance.
Thank you very kindly.
So, as you turn the gnome...
So have we learned what this patronage we have to give out was?
Sorry?
You mentioned that we have to pay patronage. Have we learned what that is yet?
When did I say that?
In the beginning, something about a patronage.
Oh, that there was some sign-up procedure that we'll have to do once. I was suspecting we'll find out about that very shortly.
Yes, okay, I was just wondering.
All right. As you kind of make your way up to the gnome man. This is a gnome guy. He's got like black hair slicked back, very oiled and greasy, and he has kind of like a youngish features. Probably as for a gnome, probably only a couple hundred years old, which is not young, not old, but he's getting there. He comes up to yes. How can I help you today? Welcome. Do you have an invoice you'd like to submit?
Yes, and I'll present him with our little purchase order
Yes,
deal.
thank you very much. I'm very happy when people have all their things together and just present them all at once. It makes things my job much easier. Opens it up. Bastion. He comes here a lot, and he tends to buy a lot of things from us. Please give me 1 second. And he kind of ducks down underneath and kind of scrambles a little bit, and he pulls out it's very nice, covered in nice like silk cloth as he gently unravels it, and you can see before you a nice leather bound collection. On the cover it has in a very foreign script written, but next to it in common down vertically along the right side it just says Suzuka, and then the numbers 2112 for some reason.
All right.
So he says, this is the item in question. Now, this is a very hefty price that he had to pay, but he's a very, very loyal customer of ours, and I'm very surprised that he managed to muster the amount to purchase this item, but it's none of my business, so he'll put this to the side. And now the payment in question is 2,000 gold pieces. You have that ready for exchange?
Yes.
Okay. And so you heft up the bag and kind of plop on the table, and he goes, ooh.
Well, I don't hand over the whole bag.
No. So, as he's just about to grab it out, you just kind of like, wait, and you kind of close it off a little bit.
And I pull 200 gold pieces out of it.
Okay, so you pull that out and kind of put that onto a side patch, and he goes, if you give me a couple of minutes, and he takes it away, and he kind of pulls it off to the side, and there's like this mechanical, there's a slot, he just kind of dumps it all in. You can hear that cling, 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 rattles, and the numbers kind of like spin on the top of it, and you can see ting, 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 and the number is 2000. It's a money counting machine. It goes, perfectly on the dot. Thank you very much. Now, if you would like, we can offer our premium insurance policies. That's going to be once 20 gold extra if the goods were to be lost in transit or damaged in transit or things like that. Then we can make sure that.
So, what did they actually hand over? Is it just a book?
Yeah, it's the book. He kind of slid that towards you, as this is the collection of artwork that was promised. And you can see it slipped in. It's kind of bound together with like a nice piece of like a ribbon, and kind of tucked away in that is also kind of like a little receipt, and very official looking with all the logo of the establishment and a signage of one of the people there.
Well, I asked the others, what do you think? Should we buy insurance on this thing? 20 gold.
And considering
I have no opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
This is your mission, not mine.
It's completely up to you, but we know if without insurance we are liable for any sorts of damages that might come
we can ask Bastion to pay for the insurance.
Yes, I want to ask about this insurance. Do you insure it against loss?
We insure against loss in transit. We and any sort of damages that may incur, perhaps if it rains too hard.
Is there a written contract? Because insuring against loss is that involves a lot of trust on your part. You know what I'm saying?
It does involve a lot of trust, but it also involves, you see, we have very, very, very keen ways of understanding, and you should know we have ways of understanding where exactly our package may be, and if it deviates from its natural shipping route, then we will be notified, as well as our customer, and we ensure a 100% refund of the total price of the package, not including the insurance fee itself.
Again, I ask our folks what they think.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I hand over 20 more gold.
All right, so you take the pouch we give you, so now you have 180 left for of what Bastion gave you. Hand it over. Thank you very much. Now please give me one moment while I write up our contract of insurance. And he pulls it away, and he takes out an inkwell and a pen and starts scribbling on another piece of parchment. And after some time, he said, "Now, if you would please, just give me one moment. I must reclaim the package and prepare it for our insurance, if you don't mind." And he gingerly...
All right, I hand him back the...
takes it off, and he disappears further back into the stall, and you can see me hands it off to another, along with the form that he just filled out, and hands it off.
He's gonna hand us back in a foot locker. We're gonna have to strap to somebody or something.
He hands it back, and they kind of disappear back, off into there's a back section where it's kind of tent covered and back and sort of thing. And after after about 10 minutes or so, the person emerges back and hands it off to the clerk, and he comes back to you. It is now complete, and you kind of hands it back to you, looking no different than it already is, save for it's kind of it's still silk covered. It's still covered. Well, actually no, he hands the book back as it is, and you can see it as it was, and he wraps it back up in the silk covering, and then puts it inside a small snug fit leather sort of bag, ties that off with some twine, and ties it off really well, and presents to you a one insured artwork collection book, as promised. Your invoice, please. And he holds out his hand.
Okay, hand him the invoice.
Hand him the invoice. He looks it over, signs off on it, closes it up, and kind of puts it into another slot and goes. And the machine kind of turns a little bit and goes on. Now,
okay.
Is there anything else that I could perhaps help you with today, or?
Well, some of our folks are interested in magic items and weapons and things like that. Is there a good market for that?
Well, for the marketplace, things like that, you want to go all the way down to the other side of this market, along the far side of the wall. There you can see all of our retailers of magical weapons, armors, items, etc. Anything that you would like. Once again, prices can vary. It depends on who is selling and who is buying. And perhaps maybe you get into a fight with somebody. Well, not a fight. You know how auction goes, right? One says I want this much.
Pull out one of those coins and I show it to him, and I'm like, I'm still a little confused about what these are for.
Well, that is simply our gift of saying welcome. Well, I assume this is your first time because you have so many questions.
So it's an independent currency.
In a way, yes. And now you can use gold and silver here in our establishment, but you must use these coins only here because they will not be accepted anywhere else. And that is just our way of just saying we're not just giving away free money for you showing up. This is free money for you to spend here.
Okay. But one of these is essentially equivalent to 1 gold here. Is that correct?
Well, yes. That is about right.
Okay. Wow, we should have... And we each got 20, is that right?
That is correct. But
okay.
I must warn you, if you are looking for the magical sort of items, 20 gold per person, that won't even buy you 1 single potion.
Yeah, I understand.
But, speaking of potions, if on your way to the magical item sections, right before you hit the main resellers, you can look at the, there's a very fun sort of thing we like to play called the Wheel of Potions. Now, you, perhaps do not have enough on per single person, but there are 6 of you here, which means if this is all your first time, you probably have around 120 coins. That can give you maybe 2 spins for these potions. If you are interested.
Are you guaranteed a potion of some kind?
You are guaranteed 1 potion, and you are guaranteed at least your monetary value, but if you are lucky, maybe something more.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
And please send Bastion my regards.
And one thing I do is I take the map to this place and I carefully fold it and stick it in my spell book.
Okay. The map that Bastion gave you?
Yeah,
So-
to find the Zen market
So
craziness.
you close it up and you put it in your spell book, tuck that away.
Yep. Because if I lose my spell book, I get bigger problems.
In case, well, I hope you enjoy your explorations and your stay shopping experience here. Now, good day. Next customer, please. And he kind of waves the next person over. And,
all right. So we get out of his way a little bit, and I say to the group, well, essentially, I don't have enough money to buy anything a wizard would want, so this is all you guys.
You guys must be wealthy if you think about buying magical weapons.
Well, I understand. I don't think anybody has enough money to buy anything here. But I didn't want to cut anybody off short. We could try the potion thing if you guys want. I'd be willing to throw my 20 coins in.
Yeah,
To a
I'd throw
toss.
mine in too.
All right.
Zero, could you
I'm
go
not
on
sure I
and
have
push the
much
talk,
need for this
please?
Z money.
So, are you guys all pooling your coins together?
Unless somebody objects, I think that's
Yeah.
the plan, yeah.
So, you guys can also use normal gold for this.
Gold, which
As
we don't
well.
have hardly any of, I think.
Because the treasurer lost the log.
Well, nobody told me. I was the treasurer for one session, and then sorry.
Well, that's okay. I will let you know, and you guys should know too. Magic weapons are hella expensive. It would have
Yeah, we
wouldn't have
know.
really made a difference.
Yeah, I think that's an obvious one.
Anyways, but
And I don't think we've made that much in all together.
yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, it wouldn't be game breaking. I'm just making you guys aware because I forgot to check your gold as well, and I'm just like, you guys have way more gold than 10 each. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'll handle this after
Well-
the session.
Yeah.
I'll go back in my logs, but you're gonna have to. I can't.
I
go back and give you
I can't
100%.
afford a scroll, and that's what I would be buying. I'd be buying spells to put in my spell book. So
Okay, so, let's say but you guys start making your way in the directions. You guys are kind of like talking about, should I chip in some gold or just gonna use the Zen coins or whatever. As you guys you make your way up to the wheel of potions. You see there's 3 different types of wheels standing before you, and there's one clerk manning the entire thing. You can see above on the leftmost one, it just says healing 50 coins per spin, and then the second one says utility 80 coins per spin, and then battle 100 coins per spin. And you can see there's a large kind of a wheel, kind of like Wheel of Fortune style, that allows you to spin to determine what kind of potion you land on. You see some areas are bigger than others. The more common ones have a bigger percentage, and the more rare ones have a much smaller chance of being landed on, and things like that.
well, I think we need healing. That's what I think we need. That's what I would go for.
I agree.
I'm protected by my matron. I need no such potions.
Yeah, well, we almost lost our tank a few minutes ago, so healing all the way.
Okay, so you stand up to the walk up to the corner. It takes a couple moments before the guy who's dealing with something else comes up to him and be like, "Hi, yeah, what can I get you?"
We were gonna take a spin at the wheel of healing here.
Wheel of healing. That'll be 50 gold, or 50 coin equivalent.
All right, I hand over 50 Zen coins.
All right, that'll be 1 spin. Now, do you want a quick explanation, or do you just want to go at it?
Well, let's get an explanation first.
Well, sure. There's 4 types of healing potions as you know of. There's your normal healing, your greater healing, superior, and supreme. Now, supreme being the most rare, probably lands you at the lowest chance of getting it. And the normal one, the most common, probably the greater chance. But you know what? How much are they worth in the real world? About 50 gold. So you're guaranteed to get about your money's worth. Now, the way this works is, you take a spin, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get what you pay for. Sounds simple, right?
So what's in it for you if the fail case is we get what we pay for?
Well, you see, we get a lot of investments from a ton of people. There's administration fees that come along. We have a lot of supporters. It runs our business.
It's basically a loss leader then, I guess. Huh?
Listen, lady, you want to play or not?
While they're talking, can I investigate the wheel and make sure nothing's hinky about it?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Oh boy, investigation, another skill I'm horrible at.
So this guy doesn't have any problem with our...
That wheel looks perfect.
It's a nice looking wheel. You're impressed with its craftsmanship.
This is a well-crafted wheel.
Hey, thanks, man.
This is Eldridge wood.
Oh, it's
All
actually
right, and
actually it's aged oak.
Very nice.
no, you should not draw your sword already. Okay, we'll spin the wheel.
All right. So he takes off 50 of your Z coins and mark them off. All right. I want you to roll me a D100.
Oh my god.
$19.
Uh-oh.
The arrow points to it's the largest section. It says, well, let's just say you get what you pay for. One normal healing potion for the young lady. And he reaches under the desk, pulls out from a crate a small vial with a red licorice, and he just hands it over.
Okay, I hand it right to Buka.
Okay.
Thank
Hands it
you.
over. So Buka
Bukesh.
adds 1 potion of healing to your inventory.
Then I hand 50 coins over to Milton. I said, "You seem to be the luckiest. You try this thing."
All right, I'll give it a spin.
All right. So you hand it over and says, "What you got? 50 coins? Potion of the wheel of healing. All right, here we go. Give me a roll, D100.
Oh,
Ding, 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 ding.
oh snap! is right.
Well. Look at this guy over here. Mr. Must be my lucky day. Is it your birthday? It's probably your birthday. Alright, anyways, that nets you 1 superior healing potion. Congratulations. And he reaches under the desk, pulls out a slightly fancier dial with a much more deep red and it almost seems to be glowing as he hands it over. Now be careful, these are really expensive. Can't say anything about anybody that might take a look at your whales on the road.
You want to trade Bukash?
Yeah, you give me a superior potion, I give you the normal potion.
I'll take that.
So, in an
Plus,
act of goodwill,
Morloy must be shining upon the halfling.
And maybe Milton, if you're feeling really kind, you'll give that to Oberon because he can't heal himself.
Oh, of course. I mean, I can heal myself.
Oh yes,
But actually, Bukash can do some self-healing, so maybe the superior healing should go to Oberon, and the
You know, you do
minor
have a
healing
point. Yeah.
should go to Bukash.
Okay, it's fine.
all right. So,
simple logic.
okay. So you so Bukash now has the superior healing potion, and Oberon has the normal healing potion. Is that right?
That's
No,
correct.
no, I had the supreme, the superior, and Oberon had the normal, no?
That's
No,
what that's what I
okay,
said.
I have the normal, he have the superior.
Right.
Isn't that
But
I said?
what my point would be is it seems to make sense for you guys to switch, since you do have some self-healing, and Oberon does not.
All right. So Bukash, you take the normal. Oberon, you get the superior.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. You guys.
Now we've got 20 Zen coins left.
Yeah.
Do we want to chip?
Now, unfortunately, that's not enough to take any of the spins of the wheel here. But if you are interested and you're the business type, you can make your way over to the banking aisle. Yeah, you guys have accounts here? Any No?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, they can get you all set up for that. But basically, you open up an account, you can deposit gold, your Zen coins, anything else you want here. We'll keep it safe storing. If you do invest actual gold, not our coins, the next time you come back, you'll get a small increase. It's kind of like a bank. Again.
Interest, huh?
Yeah. It's an interest. Actually, I got that backwards. My bad. It's not the real gold coins. We'd lose way too much money, people using us just like a free bank. You gotta insert your Zen coins. Those are the ones that'll return your interest, because you can only spend them here.
Okay. Point me to where we make the accounts?
Oh, that'll be 3 aisles over, down from where you came from.
Okay, so we'll head over there.
Okay. Alright, you guys say goodbye to this guy. Make your way over to the bank. And for the sake of speeding things up, you guys go to a clerk. You submit your, are you guys each opening account, or are you guys opening kind of one account?
I think you guys don't mind if we just make a sort of group account.
Let's make it one.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a woman manning the desk there. An elf with her hair tied back, spectacles in her face, and be like, yes, and can I get a name for the account holder? Or an account's title, perhaps if this is. You do opening a group account? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, we'll call this the Asuji account.
The Asuji account.
What? Not Team Guardian?
Oh, that makes better. That makes more sense. There you go. Guardian account.
Is the Guardian account? Oh, of course. Guardian account, and she kind of writes that down. And she's using kind of like a magical pen.
What do you guard?
Write things down.
I whisper that to the team. What do you guard?
Okay.
Archives, it seems.
Understood.
Okay, well, thank you for waiting. We have your account ready, and as a very kind of special welcoming for first-time accounts, we have deposited a very small, just 10 of our coins of our currency into your account. And would you like to deposit the rest of your sum?
Yes, so here's another 20.
Oh, thank you very much. And she takes the coins, kind of slides them into a box, and then hands it off to someone in the back, and then take it back to your account. Now,
and I will put this on the sheet. We've got 30 Zen coins in the Zen Market Bank.
Mm-hmm.
I put 5 from Matengol there too.
5 of your normal gold?
I thought they said that wouldn't work. Didn't they say that
Well,
at
it
the end?
doesn't gain
No, we won't collect interest if you put in normal
Positive.
gold. You only collect interest if you put in your Z gold.
And
I think if you put in normal gold, you'll collect interest in Z gold.
Yeah. The woman kind of looks at you and is like, you are at this place. You are allowed to exchange your normal gold for these Z coins if you would like to have some sort of interest return. But unfortunately, we cannot multiply your actual money. That'd be a little bit too good to be true. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, I wanna change for 10 coins.
So you would like to exchange in order to collect your interest? Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And how much would you like to exchange?
5.
5 gold
5 gold.
pieces. Okay, please. So you hand over 5 gold pieces. Please mark that off your sheet. And then she kind of puts that down into a separate container, and then pulls out 5 coins from another and plops it into another bucket and hands it on back.
That can be your own account there. That's fine. If you're using your own
for
gold.
the group.
Okay, that's cool too. We'll take it. So we have 35 Z coins.
Yes, and the interest rates, unfortunately, we cannot really let our customers know. But trust, you must take our word for it that one, your investments.
Ooh,
are
it's a
safe.
variable market.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Yes, unfortunately, with the way that the kind of, of course, you must understand. It depends on we are a thriving economy based off of our wonderful supporters, our patrons, as well as our participants. You see, many people can come here and peddle their own goods and creations, or perhaps things from other places that they
Maybe
come
we
to
can make
collect.
money off arbitrage since it's uncertain.
It's some sort of like the grand exchange of many items that if you had, yes, if, by all means, if you are willing to also deposit, or unfortunately you cannot store items with us, that must be probably more a secure location, but if you would like to support, so to submit items for sale, we can create a listing for you under your account. If you would like to put it up for a fixed sale auction or a fixed sale price, or perhaps an auction, we can get that settled away from you as well.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much.
Where do we ask for that? Anything for sale?
Sorry.
I have a cool dagger. I wanna know if it can be sold.
Oh well, a normal may I please see your product then? Would you like to submit? Okay, you pull out your dagger. I'm assuming. It's just a normal.
Yes.
It's just a normal dagger.
Is the dagger from the first session?
Oh, it's like the ceremonial dagger. Is it? What is that? Is that
Yes.
it's a fancy dagger. We'll just call it a fancy dagger. And she'd be like, oh well, this is a very nice price. Now you can create your own price for this item, or if you would like to put your trust into us, we can create the listing for you, and we would sell it at roughly a market price. And once a sale has been made, we will detract our administration and handling fees, and of course turn the profits, the remainder of the profit, over to you. Would you like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Would you like to put this up for an auction or a fixed price?
Auction.
Auction, of course. Well, give me one moment, please. He takes the dagger down, creates a listing.
Have that appraised first.
Well, appraisal will come separate. We have our own group of appraisals and our own methods going on, and he has left the trust within us and our establishment to make an accurate portrayal, and I must say we are priding our honesty in terms of market value very highly. So, and she fills out the forms and hands it over to another person who takes it into the bag.
Market value in Z coins or market value in gold?
Oh, of course. All transactions will be made, and you will be given gold and silver for your sales made here. You can see in the back the person took it. They're creating kind of like a person in the back is examining the dagger and takes out their own kind of like inkwell and starts accurately and kind of focusingly drawing a very nice sketch of the dagger onto the piece of paper that she held back. You see that in the back. Okay. Now, is there anything else that I can help you with?
No, I guess that's it. Now,
yeah.
I had one question for Zero. Did the lockpick you get, does that serve your needs? Because maybe while we're here, we should look at the lockpick set for you.
I think it's enough.
All right.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else I can help you with, then I wish you enjoy the rest of your day. And she gives a small bow from where she is, and she goes, next customer in line, please. And you guys are kind of...
All right, so I just want a sense of how many people besides us are like shopping.
Yeah, looking around, it's a pretty decent amount. It's not like a super crowded marketplace, but it's probably kind of like past a dwindling point of like a lunch hour sort of thing. So there's still a decent amount of walking space in between, but every stall seems to have one or two people kind of looking at it. It's kind of like
You do have
lunchtime.
that for pelt. Maybe
Yeah.
you should see if you can get that cured if you want to make a hood of it.
Or put it up for auction.
It is your hood. It is your pelt. It's up to you.
Yeah. But I want to go find that guy we talked to, one of those marketplace helper guys,
So you
guards or whatever you want to call
So
them.
you kind of scan around, and they're pretty spaced out. Well, between at the edge of one of the you'll see another guy, a human male, nice rugged looking chin, very short cropped hair, and he kind of goes through here like, "Hi, yes, can I help you?"
Yeah, I was just curious. We went through a forest, a small forest path, and one of your strange portals to get here, and it looks like from the amount of people here, there would be a much more worn path with a lot more traffic to it than we saw. Is there multiple entrance and exits to this place?
I apologize for any sort of inconvenience we might have caused you or any sort of confusion with this, but you see, we most recently updated our terms and conditions in terms of membership and entry, and it seems that you found the old system, as it were. So we unfortunately don't really utilize that path much anymore. Actually, kind of haven't in the past couple of months. We, in fact, now incorporate a new system of travel. If were you to come here in your own time and leisure, that can be something that can be set up for you almost immediately. Are you interested?
Yes.
Well, if you would please follow me right away. And he heads off towards one of the corners, what seems to be more of like kind of like an administration booth. And he kind of points you to the people working there. He's like, now, if you talk to a nice, to one of the nice ladies over there, you can set up yourselves with one of our signet rings, which establishes a one or two-way travel access to our facilities and our marketplace here. These items, of course, you can ask for more details, but off the top of my head, I can tell you they only work once a day, if it's a one-way ring, and if it's a two-way ring, it'll work twice a day. You know, get there, get back. You know, can't get to the grocery store without a bus to get back. Am I right? But anyways, because you seem to be all relatively new here, that is the type of thing that can be set up almost at a low fee. Unfortunately, we cannot. These types of magics are very costly, and the magic wielders that we have enchanting these things are quite expensive, if you understand. But I guarantee you, this is
maybe we should have spent our Zen coins so quick.
Oh, please. Unfortunately, your Zen coins cannot be used to purchase these things. These
Oh, okay. Well, I feel better then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You want to save those for the things you really want. Okay. Well, you've gotten here once, but I'm sure you can get here again. Now, mind you, that main entrance, you only really have to go through that once, but of course we have a bunch of different entrances located throughout this continent and many others. You just have to find them. Now, it just so happens to be that...
Wait, we are on a different plane of existence right now?
Well, of course. You see, when you descended into the staircase, it's a very subtle type of magic. That is just but one staircase. You will always enter in and exit out of the same one you came from, but as you can see, and he points towards the exit, and you can see coming from this, you see a group of kind of like half elven, kind of like teenager type sort of thing, kind of bounding down, going across, and then at the same point a group of dragonborns enters in, more kind of like statured, as they browse the wares, and people going out of different races and different kind of creeds, as you notice, all coming in and out of the same entrance. And he looks at that, he's like, you'll always come in and out of the same entrance that you found. So you can see, these people probably came from their own continents, and they're only here for what they want, and by the time they get back, boom, they're back to where they came from. And as soon as you exit, you guarantee you'll come up from whatever farthest path you came from.
So you basically can't use the market as fast travel then, I guess.
Well, unfortunately not. This is a one sort of one trick, if you say. Now, I'm not allowed to say really if there anything exists beyond this room, but from a very secure standpoint, I can tell you that once you get in here, this is about as much as you can access to, and as much as I can access to. Heck, I'm only wearing this vest. I'm not wearing one of those shiny robes of the people in charge. That's different.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. We'll visit this signet ring desk.
So we can buy a teleport ring.
Well, yes, the teleport
sounds
ring.
like it.
Yeah, the teleport ring only seems to work. Will only work traveling from here to there. Well, wherever.
How much it costs?
Oh, you can establish the exact terms and conditions. That will depend on who's buying and where you're coming from and what kind of ring you want. They can hand you over at that desk over there. Any other questions?
Nope. We'll head over to that desk.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy your day. And he heads off back to his post. Okay, you guys...
So we head over to that desk, and I ask him about the two-way rings, how much they cost.
So you go up to it, and the woman there looks up to you and says like, oh yes, two-way ring. That will run you, for just one ring, about 200 gold pieces.
And that only transports one person.
Yes.
I give you 5.
She looks at you, and her expression very bored. You know, this is resting bitch face all the way. She looks at you and just be like, each ring is cost 200 gold pieces.
Okay. And I'm curious how these work. Do they just work as an action? I phrase it in whatever way is in more real life terms. Do they work instantly, I guess I should say?
Sparing you the boring details. The ring will activate after you assign a custom phrase, and I must clarify. Each ring is is tied, as it were, to a specific user.
Right.
Once you are attuned to this particular item, then you can, focusing on it after about a minute or so, it's, yes, instantaneous travel. It's very quick, very painless. Again, once or twice a day, depending on the ring.
Okay. Anything else that we should know about this?
No.
Okay. Well, we might be back. And I shuffle off a little distance from the desk, motioning my party. And tell them that these are extremely useful and we need to save up money until we can each get one of these things. Have you thought about this, Kwee?
Thought about what?
What these rings will do?
I'll answer that after the session.
All right.
They'll make you they'll make you disappear.
Well, they're essentially like
reason
a
I find
get out of jail free card.
For some reason, I find my patron would be very happy about something like that.
Yeah. No, okay.
All right.
Disappearing seems like something that's very useful.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you guys do?
I can't think anything. We can't afford anything at this place anymore. So.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to spend
Forward.
my first 200 gold on.
All right. So you guys kind of like after another cursory glance around, you kind of take note of the interior of the marketplace and just kind of take it all in for a sec before you guys decided, well, you did what you came to do, and you all kind of group up together and start making your way back towards the exit. You guys enter back into that large stone archway with the torches lit. As you make your way back up, you start paying a little bit more attention to try and see the shift in the planes, but you don't really notice anything. But as you make your way up the stairs and you finally emerge out, you see the familiar runic circle. The stone's still spinning in the center, keeping that stone up.
Let's dislodge the stone again, because we don't want woodland creatures wandering into this thing or whatnot.
As you
They
exit,
might be angry if we don't close it.
as you exit, you push the stone out, and as it rotates and rotates out, still spinning, and you kind of shove it out. As it exits out, it lands down, and it kind of does one full kind of like half a rotation over, and you see it makes a similar indentation with the stone next to it as you saw as it originally was in its position.
Right.
All right.
I'm going to use a nature check to make it look like the boulder was never moved to begin with.
Okay. Make a nature check to see if you can hide that up.
Like push leaves around it or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Hi. Don't
You
do a very good
gather
job at this at all.
you gather some sticks and some leaves, and you throw them over the indentation. You kind of dust it around a little bit. You stand up. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it
Pretty
looks good to me.
Looks good.
No one will know.
Okay. All right. Satisfied with your work, you guys start kind of, you pull out your map from your spellbook once again to kind of reorient yourself, as Mezzo once again helps you take the lead and starts leading you back towards the main road. And that's where we're going to close the session today, because it is almost Saul's bedtime, apparently.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, it's good.
No, that's cool.
That is
It's
exactly
a good place to stop.
That is exactly how much I planned. This is great. This is exactly how much I planned for you guys. So it's excellent.
Perfect.
All right.
This was very fun.
So yeah, thanks for playing, guys. I will offline handle all your other stuff, as well as your missing gold, as well as some other.
And now that I know I'm supposed to be the treasurer, I will be the treasurer. That's
yes.
fine.
I suggest you guys, once you get like party rewards, divvy up the gold just on the spot, because it's really easy with D&D Beyond.
Yeah, we just haven't, as I recall, earned enough to really care about it at this point.
But hey, now you can spend all your money gambling.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about these rings, because they could be seriously unbalancing if they're working how I think. And you might want to think about